the phone with you. Who knows what we should do? 'Cause I'm tortured. 'Cause when we try to do things right, it always ends up with a fight. It's really messing with my head. Too bad, my friend, she said. But I'm tortured. Drop dead for me. Won't you just drop dead? Drop dead for me. I think I like that instead. Well, I don't mean anything wrong. Let's have a little conversation alone. Leaving all the stuff behind, but I don't think we should try. Yes, I'm tortured. Drop dead for me. Won't you just drop dead? Drop dead for me. I think I like that instead. Yeah. I've been wandering down the same road back in town, talking on the phone with you. Who knows what we should do? 'Cause when we try to do things right, it always ends up with a fight. It's really messing with my head. Too bad, my friend, she said. Drop dead for me. Well, I don't mean anything wrong. Drop dead for me. Let's have a little conversation alone. Drop dead for me. Leaving all that stuff behind. Drop dead for me. But I don't think we should try. Drop dead for me. I'm tortured. Drop dead for me. I'm tortured. I'm tortured. Today is the beginning of the end and the start of a new beginning. Time has come to refine yourself and let go of the demons in your head that have held you in captivity for so long. It's time to flip the page and prove them wrong. It's time for rebirth. Yeah, time's up to say goodbye to all the haters, doubters, and non-believers trying to bring you down. In the blink of an eye, you'll realize that there's so much more to the book than the page you were stuck on. Finally, you will feel free to live a life you love living instead of the life you think other people want you to live. Remember, you're the highest authority when it comes to knowing what you want and what you love. So stop trading yourself for the approval from others. Ladies and gentlemen,
Target acquired.
Eagle 1, first strike, you have permission to engage the target.
Warning: the following video contains explicit language which may be offensive to some viewers or inappropriate for children. The content within this video is intended for mature audiences only.
Whoops, wrong button. That's okay. It was time to start anyway. 5 minutes early won't hurt nobody. How is everyone today? I hope everybody's well. Hope everybody's doing just great, just wonderful. And if not, why not? I don't know. It is Monday. I didn't do anything yesterday except for run around everywhere, to be honest with you. I did a lot of weird stuff. But what happened to Alan Dulles? I don't know. We'll find out. So in the house today, we have 13 numero uno in the chat. Ticky Tack is in the house. Ticky Tack, if you'd like to come up and banter a bit, that'll be great in a few minutes. Silvar Ogre is in the house. Damien, our parkour guy. Everything can be solved with parkour. John Smith is in the house as well, and we got some other guys coming in. This is my favorite. That's your favorite hat? It's not my favorite, but you know, it's growing on me. It's growing on me. So, yeah, it's good. Hit the like button. Do all the cool things. What's up, Provo? Good to see you. Not familiar with you. I don't know where you're from, where you're from, or what, how you found us. But welcome into the chat today. Serendipity, good to see you. I hope Chris is well, and doing great things. Hopefully, he got monetized. I've been trying to push a little bit to get him, get people over there to monetize that guy. But we'll see. We'll see how it goes. Probably be a little bit of a light day today. Not even really sure. Man, there's so much that we could talk about. But the one thing that seems to be the subject of the subject of U.S. aid is still not going away, and there's so much misinformation out there. It's really crazy. We've interacted before, but okay, all right. Was it under a different screen name? I don't know. And to be honest, it's not that I'm bad with names. I'm just not the best. See anyone in the chat I'm not happy to see? Nah, not really. I don't know. Should I? I actually don't, to be honest with you, the only person that I kind of have any real, the only person that's actually truly banned from this channel, by the way, guys, just so you know, is Jack. And that's only because he said some really unkind, and that's not just unkind, really character assassination of myself, Glenn Lawrence, and Andrew. And so he's not really welcome here. But I don't care. Even if we kick you off, it's fine. Whatever. It's fine. Jack Snapgrabbing. Yeah, I don't know who that is. Somebody actually did get banned. Yeah. I mean, I'm sure he still sneaks in under different usernames and whatever. But as long as he, I don't honestly care about that as long as he kind of behaves himself. But the whole thing that the accusations made were not warranted. By the way, if you call me a son of a bitch, I'd tell you that you're probably right. I'll ask my mom, but pretty sure you're right. Yeah, Furby didn't manage to get banned. Yeah, I think the Furby thinks it's banned, but it's not. Welcome, John Deadman. How are you, sir? Good to see you. It is a good afternoon. Unfortunately, I was scheduled to debate over at the Raging Tomato tonight. Unless something changes drastically, I'm not going to be able to make it. My son has an interview or a college event, pre-college event, I guess, like a recruitment thing, and we're going to have to do that. Yeah. But yeah, it's it's not a big deal. Unfortunately, I won't be able to be there. I think tomorrow night I'm going to do a show with Scott, Fabian Liberty. We're going to talk about more about U.S. aid. Trump may have actually chatted with Putin, but he does constantly. I mean, the world leaders have to talk to each other. I find it interesting that there's anybody in this modern day and age that think that world leaders don't talk to each other pretty regularly, right? I mean, through channels, through back channels, whatever. It would be very silly to think otherwise. I think. I could be wrong. I'm often not necessarily wrong, but yeah. So yeah. Anyway, so and then I'm out of town. I don't know that I'll be able to stream after Tuesday. It is possible, but I will be at DebateCon. They don't allow live streaming on the premises, and I'm not really sure that I'm going to bother streaming when I'm in my apartment. So we'll see. I don't know. We're going to see how that works out. It's just going to be it's going to be a busy week for me. I may not be able to do the weekend shows, that sort of thing. So we'll have to, we'll just have to play it by ear, guys. So you may have to pay attention to the show, to the schedule, see what's going on. Seth Spence. I don't know why I keep trying to put an R in there. Says, how dare you grid do your family responsibility like a husband and father? I know. It's terrible. It's a terrible state of affairs when a man can't do just whatever he wants because of obligations. Ticky Tack, I think you're right. It was amazing that Trump shook hands with Kim Jong-un, even though you're right, he did give us the finger like pretty much the next day. But that's okay. It's some things are just done for appearance as well, right? Like, I mean, you can't, just because I don't like somebody doesn't mean that I wouldn't go up and shake their hand, or say, hey, how you doing, or whatever, right? Like, sometimes you just have to be a good person, even though you may not particularly like the person that you're talking to. You may disagree with them completely. You may consider them the Antichrist. I don't know. However, being polite is not a sign of weakness. Yeah. Anyway, sorry guys. It may not be until next Tuesday or Wednesday before I'm back up online after tomorrow night, obviously, and tomorrow is going to be a hell of a day as well. So we've got a lot to get through today. I'm going to burn through it as much as I can. Obviously the USA thing, it just will not go away. It would be great to have Ticky Tack come up when he has a minute. He may be at work, he may not be able to, but it's impressive the depths at which the corruption goes in one agency. It's crazy. And what's really interesting to me, and probably only to me, maybe you as well, the other agencies are really scared because the more we dig in the USA, the more it has little tendrils out, spider webs, if you will, to all of the other agencies. And we're starting to see where all of this financial abuse has been happening in our country and our citizens, that are being, asked to pay these massive bills for our government, are finally getting an idea of how that money is actually being spent. It's going to be great to see. Now, is it going to be painful? Fuck yeah, it is. Fuck yeah, it's going to be painful. There's going to be agencies that literally rebel because they know how bad it is. You'll try and get Joe Rogan to come on? Brother, if you can get Joe Rogan on my show, that'd be tits. Actually, I mean, I'll fly to Texas. I can afford plane fare, brother. I appreciate that. John Smith. That's awesome, bro. Money laundering for the win, says Spence. You are correct, sir. And this is what's been going on behind closed doors for so long. And now we start seeing it, right? Like, I'm reminded of the cockroach analogy, right? Like we're seeing all the cockroaches come scurrying out and scream and run away and run for another corner of darkness because not going to be able to hide. The fact, and again, I've said from the start, I thought U.S. going after U.S. aid, which is like a feel-good organization, I always thought that that was a very tactical thing to do, because if you were already president, you knew it was a front for CIA activities. You knew it was a slush fund. You knew that it was also you probably knew that it was, or suspected it was a money laundering situation for the other agencies to move cash around and pay out politicians directly with no dirty fingers, right? Clean hands, dirty money. That's what we're talking about here, guys. What we're really talking about is clean hands and dirty money. And so they're scared. And but the thing is that it's hard for somebody to come out and say you shouldn't be investigating USAID, because we all know that USAID is a front. Now we know that's evil. So a politician that takes the side of corruption at this point, any politician that protests what's going on at USAID is committing political suicide, because you are literally validating money laundering. You're literally saying that it's okay to steal from the American people because some stupid ass reason, I don't know what. And it's legendary right now. It's literally legendary. I can't even begin to tell you how freaking amazing this is. It's just amazing we're going after that. Anson Knowles in the house. Good to see you, sir. Money is going to a good purpose. Trust us. So saith the government. No, I don't think so, guys. And again, we've been waiting for this for years. And the amount of misinformation, right? Like, well, all of these people they don't have security clearances. Well, who gives them security clearances? The government, the president, the executive branch gives out security clearances. So how is it that you could how do you make the mental leap that someone that is authorized by the president doesn't have security clearance? How the fuck does that work in your head? Like, this is the dumbest argument I've seen yet. I can't honestly believe how terrible it is. I can't stop it, right? I just can't stop the wonderment, the awe, the sense of what the fuck is going on, dudes. Like, this is crazy to me. I keep trying to figure it out, but I can't figure it out. And so what we're really looking at here is we're really trying to understand, what the fuck is it that we're going to deal with later, right? Well, I don't know. I'm not the guy to answer that. I'm an idiot. So what do I know? But at the end of the day, it's going to be a train wreck of massive proportions. Ticky Tack, that's totally cool, man. That's totally cool. So so USAID's going on, right? And while USAID's going on, we got the border going on, right? Like, the whole thing with the border is just cracking me up right now. It's crazy. I don't know if you guys have been watching, but it's nuts. You've got people that are literally protesting the military being down there to secure the border. You've got reporters talking about how that, well, I wouldn't want 1,000 or 10,000 or however many Mexican troops against the border. That could be an invasion force. And but at the entire time, those troops are currently discouraging illegal immigrants, or pardon me, foreign nationals from crossing the border. While they're doing that, at the same time, they're also stopping the drugs. They're also stopping. They're putting pressure on the cartels. Now, obviously, there is a danger when you start provoking the cartels. They are absolutely ruthless, and for sure the cartels have probably enough firepower to push against the Mexican military, but with so much press, so many eyes on it, it's hard to think that the cartels would want to go and do this kind of war like they have before. I don't know if you guys know this. There was a famous video not long ago of a maybe 5 years ago, 6 years ago, where the cartels took over a whole town, pushed the police out, told the military don't even bother coming down here, and hung the bodies of rival gang members from overpasses. And so the cartels have in the past been able to do that, but currently, with all the eyes on them and the might of the Mexican military railed against them, backed by the U.S. military. Now, see, here's the thing: if Mexico sounded the alarm and said, "Hey, U.S., we need you come across our border and take care of these cartels for us," I honestly feel like that is something that the shall we?
Mr. Bulley in the Department of Numismatics donated $10 super chat.
Ooh.
Speaking of corruption, Grid is dressed to put a hit on grifting. Get your grift on and wash with tactical soap from Klondike Soap Company today.
I got to get my shoulder holster. Going on. What's up, Chili Dog? I see you out there, buddy. I'm not familiar with your screen name, but I'm sure you've probably been in before. I just am not remembering. Welcome to everyone who's come in the last couple of minutes. We have had a little bump. I don't know if we got raided or what, but thank you for everyone coming in. Please smash the like. Subscribe if you're not a member. You can get all those notifications. Do all the things. Push all the buttons. Everything like that. It's got a spam call. I hate spam calls, brother. So what do you guys in the chat think? Do you think that that Trump asking for the Mexican military to be involved to confront the cartels and monitor the border for all of the smuggling, do you think him forcing that hand is a mechanism to trigger the cartels into attacking the Mexican military, making the Mexican government ask us for help and unleashing the dogs of war known as the Marines to go in and show some hate and discontent in defense of their Mexican brothers? I wouldn't put it past Trump. I wouldn't put it past him. So I got raided by Billy's channel. Who's Billy? Who do I know? Billy? Billy, are you in the house? I didn't see that I got raided, but it sometimes doesn't show on my screen for some reason. It shows on everybody else's, but not mine. So, Mr. Boulay, did we get raided, sir? If we didn't get raided, thank you for coming in anyway. If you are raiders, welcome, sir. We've got the pirate flag up, 6 guns smoking. All right, so thank you, John Smith, for saying that. Let's see, suspense. They're already at war with each other, along with the Mexican military, but Mexico cartels have control of 75%. Mexico economy, so can't trust Mexican government. That's why I think that Trump's doing it in this way. So I appreciate that. Can't tell. Nevertheless, yeah. If we did get raided, thank you very much for the raid. If we didn't get raided, thank you for coming in. Enjoy the show. It's going to be we're firing on at least half our cylinders today, or rotors, depending on what you're doing. Anson Knowles, Klondike Soap is starting a new product called Furby. It's 100% artificially scented and guaranteed to be masculine, even though it comes in a girly-looking package. Neat. Angel Berber says he can believe that Trump has proven that his negotiations are not always for immediate effect, but rather for payoffs in general. See, I keep thinking that like there's no real reason for Trump to push. Okay, so I could not, and I've been thinking about this. I'm like, what is Trump's motivation behind getting the Mexican military involved at the border? And especially he called them out specifically to face the cartels. This is just, Angel Berber, I think you're right. Welcome, YouTube police. The YouTube police are in the house. Everybody get your IDs ready. They'll be checking for fake IDs. Make sure that you're all above age, whatever that is. Silvar Ogre, 2-speed Ardrodia is really good. Okay, cool. Hey, what did everybody think of the new TTS voice? Should I keep the femininity, or should we go back to Brian, the British guy? You're a content creator that just happens to be a police officer. Okay, what's your channel, man? Give it to one of the mod. You can't. How do we? Let me see if I can get your channel here, pal. Let me see. I got you, bro. Look at you. Look at you, man. Cool. All right. What we're gonna do this. Oh, I thought I was. There you go. How about that? We got you, bro. We'll hit you up. Glenn rated us. How about that? Glenn, if you are out there, please. Oh, I need to send you the link. Let me do that now. I'm a little lazy this morning. Mr. Glenn Lawrence can come up and we can talk about this. We'll get out and I'll close out the political discussion for the day if Glenn comes up. Oh, I got you. Came over from Glenn. All right, Belt Loot. Cool. All right, awesome. Mr. Boulay, grab that channel and throw it out as well. Throw that one out. Sweet Aunt T, good to see you. You want to come up, Sweet Aunt T? I need some femininity on the stage with me. And you'll do. Yeah, of course, YouTube police. If you want to come up later, I'll ask one of the mods and they'll send you the link and we can chat. All right, mods, please get Sweet Aunt T the link. But she has to be on cam glare. Okay, that's fine. All right, so I haven't had enough coffee this morning, so you're just going to have to bear with me a little bit of aggravation. Belt Loot just subscribed. Excellent. Thank you, sir. Good job. By the way, nobody did anyone have an opinion on the female the new TTS voice? I'm going to re-trigger the last TTS just so you can sample it again. I say I am. Just stand by. There we go. Let me know what you guys think of this TTS voice. We're in phase
Mr. Bulle
phase
in
one
the
testing.
Department of Numismatics donated $10 super chat. Speaking of corruption, Grid is dressed to put a hit on grifting. Get your grift on and wash with tactical soap from Grundyke Soap Company today.
Grundyke needs to make some shaving accessories. I need to shave for the gray shows. All right, that's awesome. That's awesome. Somebody get Sweet Aunt T the link, and we'll get Sweet Aunt T up here. Maybe I sent Glenn the link. Maybe he'll join. Maybe not. You never know. It's hard to say. Hard to say. All right, where was I? Oh yes, Mexican cartels, drug lords, and the Mexican military. Hoorah! Hooray! Super cool stuff. Yes, everybody hit that like button. Everybody hit it. Be cool. Be awesome. Ghost 1978. That's fine. Your AI ex-wife. That's good. That's good. Yeah, make sure you join the Discord, guys. It's a good place. It's actually been a little bit low key lately. We need to pump it up a little bit. It'll be fine. And yeah, so it's going to be a good. It looks like I'm going to try and make the debate tonight on Sarah's. I may be a little late. I may have to dial in the car. It'll be a little weird because my wife and son will be with me, but that'll be okay. But we'll see what I can do. We'll see what I can do. TR Finley, score, goal! I have a bit of trouble understanding the female voice. Might be just because I'm used to not listening when a woman talks. You'll have to work on that, sir. You'll have to work on that. All right. Hey, Plumpy, how are you? Good to see you. Good to see everyone out in the chat land today. My wife says I'm just deaf, but I'm not, and she knows. The problem is she knows I'm not deaf, so she understands exactly what's going on. All right, so no, I'm not dressed to put a hit on anyone. No, the Continental is not open for business. Business may not be conducted here yet. Just having a day. Got to go get a haircut later. All of the above. So I will be at DebateCon. Not really sure what we're going to do there, but it should be a good time. Plumpy, we were talking about U.S. aid along with the fact that all of the corruption is being uncovered and the fact that Trump has forced the Mexican military, the Mexican government to send their military to the border, and they're doing a great job up there. And I'm wagering on how much the cartels are going to take, and if they will keep their, if the cartels are just going to kind of, basically roll over and die, or if they're going to start attacking the Mexican military. And if they do that, if the Mexican government asks Trump for help and releases the Marines across the border, which, I mean, the Marines are looking for an excuse at this point. So, I'm not sure I want him crossing the border. Where's Grumpelstiltskin when I need him? That's what I need. Grumpelstiltskin. Calling Grumpelstiltskin to come in and give us a Texas view of that. Him or Clover Tack, either one would be great. Texas, New Mexico, Arizona. We were also talking about how the rhetoric of the liberals currently is crazy. Have you heard some of the things that they're saying about Doge and the U.S. aid thing? I have one. Earlier today, I had an interaction with the liberal lady, and she says this. I'm going to read this. No names, but she says, I would be in support of Doge. Oh, pardon me. I would be in support of what Doge was originally stated that they would do if they were following the law, but they aren't. Misinformation. They're walking into departments and threatening people to let them into secure areas to give them access to secure data to not stand in their way of doing whatever they want to do, or things will get hard. then they are locking legitimate employees out of all those things. Well, let's examine this for a minute. First of all, the person who grants access is the president of the United States. He's top dog. If he says you get access, you get access. It's the way it works. So this is all dumb rhetoric. Musk has clearance to go in and do what he's doing. He has authority vested in him by the president of the United States to go in and do what he's doing. Right? Like, this is how it works. So this is all irrelevant nonsense. It's all bullshit. It's all lies. Lies, I tell you, it's lies. But it continues. If this were anyone else, they'd be in prison right now for accessing secure locations and data without proper clearance. No, if it was anyone else with the same clearance, they would be doing what Doge is doing. The difference is that if it's a leftist doing it, they actually wouldn't do anything but walk in, have a cup of coffee, and walk out, and nothing would get done. That's the real difference. Hey, Fredo Fonzarelli, how you doing, buddy? Good to see you. But it continues. This just doesn't end. Then there's a problem with the fact that all of those departments are functioning within the law. The fuck they are! They're literally conducting money laundering operations. The CIA, it's a CIA front. It's literally a CIA front. It's literally a slush fund like out of a Robert Ludlum book, like The Bourne Identity, in real fucking life. It's crazy that someone would think this. This is nuts. This isn't the kind of nonsense that's just absolutely... I mean, this is irresponsible that people are being led to believe this. Then there's a problem with the fact that all those departments are functioning within the law. I just read that. We do not necessarily have to like everything they're doing, but the legislative branches who voted on the formation, operation, and funding for those departments. No, USAID was actually put into being by an executive order by John F. Kennedy. In 1998, Congress passed a law not establishing USAID, but what it did, in 1998, Congress passed a law saying that to reorganize and get rid of departments like USAID, the president had to seek congressional approval. Congress has only given approval a few times. Obama wanted approval to reorganize. He didn't get it. Bush wanted approval. He didn't get it. And I believe Biden asked for it, and he didn't get it. We'll come back to that. Legally, to stop any of that, they must go through the legislative branch to do what they're doing. No. They need approval from legislative branch to completely end the department. However, to reorganize it or to fire its staff, from the CEO, president, VP, whatever, all the way down to the guy in the mailroom, Trump only has to find them incompetent, negligent, or I can't remember the other one. It's not miss. There's another basically incompetence. That's all they have to do. Trump doesn't even need a real reason to fire someone in these agencies. He just says, you're incompetent, you're not doing what I'm doing, and you're fired. You're fired. How does he? You're fired. You're fired. Anyway, yeah. So, this liberal closes out with, there's a difference in finding wasteful spending and just destroying everything without any care about the dangers or how illegal the actions taken are. What? We're not just finding wasteful spending, folks. We are literally looking for people breaking the damn law. The CIA operating in our country using funds is against the law. It's against her charter, which is against the law. Claiming to send $100 billion to the Ukraine gets 22 billion, actually gets 22 billion. The rest gets funneled off into various departments and budgets and pulled out by senators and other representatives, is money laundering, clean hands, dirty money. Remember that, folks. This is what this is all about. This is literally how someone who's never had a dime in their life goes to political office and comes out a multimillionaire. Now, we want to talk about all of this nonsense, but you look at like Chelsea Clinton gets paid $3 million a year for nothing. Nothing. And it comes from a slush fund provided for by USAID. By USAID. It's literally, you can track the money now. And this is exactly what Doge was created for. It's illegal. Why does Chelsea Clinton, who is a useless fuckwit, how in the hell does she get $3 million of my tax money? Motherfuckers out there in the street begging for change, and people want me to give them money, and we're giving Chelsea Clinton $3 million a year for fucking what? For what? Huh? No, Doge is doing exactly what they're supposed to do, motherfuckers. Exactly. Go find the money, find who's getting the money, where that money is going, and put every one of those motherfuckers in jail. Every single one. I don't care if they're Republican, Democrat, undecided, communist, what the fuck ever. I don't care what their political affiliation is. If you are manipulating our tax dollars, you got to go to jail. You got to go to jail. This is why we can't understand any of the budget. This is why for 8 fucking years, 10 years actually, I think it's 10 years, the Department of Education with an $800 billion budget, it's actually north of there, but I round down to 800. $800 billion. Every year they're $8 to $10 billion. That's with a B, folks. It's $8 billion, 8 to 10, that they don't know what happened. They don't know where the money went. Where'd it go? What the fuck? It was here. It was in our checking account. We spent it, but we don't know what we spent it on. What the fuck? Come on, guys. What the hell? What the hell, man? And we're not supposed to put those people in jail. If I did that, if I do that in my business, it's called tax evasion, and I go to jail. I mean, it's crazy. This is nuts. This is absolutely the dumbest thing I've ever. And the fact that the leftists are freaking the fuck out should tell you everything you need to know. Literally everything. Literally everything you need to know. You should be able to tell from the fact that the leftists are freaking the fuck out. Have you ever seen a group of leftist politicians actually go to a low-level building and demand to be let in? No, you haven't. But you saw Maxine Waters the other day. We pay your job. We pay your job. We pay for you. The fuck, Maxine Waters? Get the fuck out. You're going to jail. I hope you go to jail. I really do. I think Maxine Waters needs to spend 10 years in the prison. That's what I need. That's what I'm saying. I'm just saying. That's what you need to do. Maxine Waters needs to go to jail. She's crooked. She's benefited from the crooked system. She has helped hide money. She's lied. She's lied under oath. Go to fucking jail. I would. You would too. Most of the people in this audience, most of the people listening right now, and the people that will listen to this video on playback, If you did what any of these people do, you would be in jail. Or you'd have about $100,000 in lawyer fees to keep your ass out of jail. Think about that. All you guys out there, you know, that aren't pissed about this, right? Everyone that's not pissed about this, think about it this way. If you did what your politicians, your elected officials are doing, you would go broke defending yourself in court. Even if you won, you wouldn't have a house. You wouldn't have your cars would be gone. Every dollar in your bank account would be gone. You'd be in debt to somebody. You'd owe a loan shark probably, but not Maxine Waters, not Chuck Schumer, not any of those motherfuckers. No. They're going to get $3 billion. They're going to get $3 million more this year. How the hell do you explain to me how a senator who makes $800,000 a year on a government salary is depositing $20 million a year in a fucking bank account? This is why Doge exists, ladies and gentlemen. This is why Doge exists. Because it's time for motherfuckers to go to jail, prison, Guantanamo, if you ask me. Thank God they're not asking me, right? I'm just saying. If they asked me, they'd all be in Guantanamo right now. They'd be down there getting some freedom sauce. Waterboarding. I meant waterboarding. So, yeah. Anyway. The math doesn't math. The math does math. The math absolutely maths once you understand they're crooked as fuck, Jordan. They're fucking crooked as fuck. They're so crooked that they can't even. They're so crooked they can't see straight. That's why they like all the gays, because they can't see straight. I'm just saying. That's the way it is. But how does the math make me feel? The math makes me feel like a man, baby, a man. Maybe send the left to middle east. Yeah, guys, I'm telling you, man, this is it's crazy, man. It's crazy. You really can't. And I have been listening over and over and over this week to all these leftists, all of these news organizations. Oh, Doge can't do this. Oh, this is illegal. Oh, that's illegal. Let me break it down for you. If the president of the United States, who is the head of the executive branch of our government, who is commander-in-chief of all military forces, who is the number one law enforcement official in the nation, says go into that building and find shit out, they get that. Whoever he says do that, they go in and find it out, and you can't stop them. Do you understand? This is how our government works. If Trump walked into a police station and said, everybody stop what you're doing, I'm the president, head law enforcement officer in the country, I got this team of people, we're gonna go through every record in this building, nobody leaves, everybody get a sack lunch and sits real still, that's what would fucking happen. Do you understand? That's what would happen. That's why the FBI is shaking in their fucking boots right now. The FBI right now is so nervous, they're probably clenching. You know what I'm saying? Because you've been that nervous where, you're like, oh, fuck, I might have to, something might slip out, and you're clenching up. They're clenching over at the FBI. They're clenching. Because Trump's going to roll in there, and he's going to ask hard fucking questions. They're going to ask hard questions. Like, show me why you investigated these people. The shredders are working over. That's funny. That's funny. Yeah, the Democrats are saying it's a constitutional crisis. That's right, because they can't manipulate the Constitution anymore. They can't lie anymore. The problem is that they're getting smacked in the face, left, right, center, with the Constitution of the United States, and they don't like it. They really don't like it. They don't like that shit at all. What they want is they want everyone to continue to believe that somehow Trump is wrong. Trump is right. That's what's up. I have not been reading any of these damn comments. You guys have been on fire. I do apologize. I know you guys have said some really smart things. I've been on my rant. I've been just saying shit. So let me calm down a minute. I never did get Sweet Auntie up here. We should get Sweet Auntie up here. We could get some other people up here. John Smith, is this a John Smith from Texas? Or is this another John Smith? There's a lot of John Smiths out there. We're not. Yeah, I'm sorry. If you really want me to read it, throw some money behind it, and I'll read it. I promise you. Yeah, you are. Yeah, I know. I'm a terrible person. See, the way it works is when I'm ranting like that, you want to say something cool, you want to add, you stick money with it, you slip it out there, and then I read it, or it goes TTS. You can always interrupt me with TTS. In some areas of the country, most kids can't even read at their grade level. That's correct. To continue funding that type of performance has been insane, not to mention central planning doesn't work well. Yes. Look, honestly, I absolutely believe that we should 100% disband the DOE. The Department of Education needs to go. It's got to go. It's got to go. It's got to go. So much money. So much. So much money. $800 billion. That's a lot of fucking textbooks, bro. So help me out with this. Help me out with this, guys. Federal funding to school systems is $800 billion. My property taxes, everybody in this county's property taxes pay for our school system. Where the fuck are we spending $800 billion? If we're spending it on colleges, that's a problem because there are no federal colleges. And college is meant to be a paid for institution. That means that most colleges, even state colleges, technically are private, right? Smells like a rat, right? Yeah. YouTube police, you can come up. What happens is one of the mods will post the link. You click the link, and then we delete the link. That's how that works. And it's really just because I run a controlled panel. We don't generally have just random people. So. Yeah, you're welcome to come up. Maybe it'll get me off of my rant for a minute. Did Sweet Auntie leave? I think Sweet Auntie left. That if I had feelings left, that would hurt them. That would hurt both of my feelings. Where is Mikey Balls today? Mikey Balls is usually in by now. Oh, you're still around? Come on up, sweet auntie. Do you need the link as well? Are you? I don't have you in Discord. Are you in my Discord, sweet auntie? You are. There you go. 1 second. I've got you. There you are. Gotcha. You can come on in. What I don't understand, by the way, is how people keep claiming that Elon Musk is the head contractor. We went over this the other night. When Lockheed Martin is the head contractor, like 64 billion. Elon's not a player at 20 billion. So I'm not having an open panel, Arakar Oak. I'm just having guests up. So I can probably get you up here in a couple of minutes. Let me. I'm going to post the link for the what's that guy's name? The YouTube police guy. Don't die up here now. Come on now. I do use that. There you go. And then I'll delete that as soon as you hit that button. Well, thank you. I've been. My wife suggested that I start doing the. All right, hit that. My wife suggested that I start classing up the joint, so I went with my usual T-shirt, but I added a jacket. So that's about as classed up as we're going to get. So,
I do like that though.
All right. Welcome, sweet auntie. Welcome, YouTube police. How is everyone today?
How you doing, sweet auntie?
Hey guys. Also, sorry for anyone asking for the cam up. It's never ever gonna happen.
Never gonna happen. Okay. All right. That's okay. That's okay. It's not required. Just, don't do anything silly like throwing up gang sign or anything. So.
Hey, I'm in Mississippi. The tea's always sweet.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm in Tennessee. So.
Cool.
Close enough.
Eastern, Central, or Western?
Middle.
Okay. I got some outlaws, in-laws, whatever you want to call them, over in Eastern Tennessee, Corryton, right outside of Knoxville.
Yep. Yep. Yeah. I actually, I was engaged to a girl from Senatobia, Mississippi for a while.
Cool. Very cool. I don't know I know the name.
It's right up. It's about 45 minutes or so south of Memphis.
Okay.
So.
Yeah.
I got married in Tennessee.
Everybody has a Tennessee connection. Tennessee's the best state. I gotta be honest with you.
I'd never been there, but my husband and I found a cheap elopement package in Tennessee in Newport. And so we hiked up and went into the mountains there. It was beautiful.
You know, the Nashville is currently the bridesmaid, or the bridesmaid trip destination of choice. They're
Not
always in Nashville.
I didn't do a
Always.
bachelorette party or nothing.
Yeah, you shouldn't do that.
No, we didn't do that. We actually didn't tell anyone either. We just eloped. We ran away to the mountains.
Why wouldn't you?
Got
Why
married.
wouldn't you?
It was fantastic.
So I ranted a lot, starting out. So we'll calm down now. How is Glenn's show? He hasn't been on yet. He's normally he'll swing by, but he must have had work to do or something.
I enjoyed it.
You enjoyed Glenn's show? Have you been on before?
No, in fact, I've been subscribed to him. I don't know how long, but I think this is the first live I've ever caught of his. I do tend to mostly hop up on live streams. I find it more entertaining.
Yeah.
But I'm pleased as punch, tickled pink, to find some folks that think the way that I do.
So, Ghost, I know you mean that as a joke, but Tennessee is the only state that has a covenant marriage law proposed. It's going through right now. Covenant marriage.
Well, now I heard they just passed a law in Tennessee, and this is a joke, okay? But when a husband and wife get divorced, they're still considered man and wife. I mean, brother and sister, excuse me.
Oh, yeah, I don't know. That sounds more like an Alabama thing. Well, we can ask Anson Knowles if he comes up.
Well, it could be said of any of the southern states, including Mississippi, where I'm at.
But ironically, the incest capital of the world is, I think, like Rhode Island or Maryland or somewhere like that.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I've only met one person that was really involved in that type of thing. And she had a brother uncle, because her daddy, I guess she slept with her daddy and had, her daddy, I don't know. It gets confusing to me. That stuff's crazy.
Yeah. So let me define this bill for Silvar Ogre. Key features of the bill, Silvar Ogre. So it's a new type of marriage that they're going to establish in Tennessee. This bill would allow couples to choose to enter a covenant marriage, which would be more of a traditional marriage, which is a lifelong commitment between a man and a woman. Key features: premarital counseling. Couples must undergo counseling that emphasizes the responsibility and nature of marriage. Declaration of intent. Couples must declare their intent to enter a covenant marriage on their marriage license application. Grounds for divorce. The bill outlines specific grounds for divorce and legal separation, which differ from standard marriages. Restrictions on suing. Spouses in covenant marriage cannot sue each other for certain causes unless legally separated. We can get into that in a second. It defines marriages between a man and a woman. So same sex or whatever does not count. I've got the actual document opening up now. It's taking a minute because it's from a state website. So all right. So the bill itself reads: a covenant marriage is a marriage entered into by one male and one female, each having reached the age of majority, who understand and agree that marriage is a lifelong relationship. Parties to a covenant marriage must receive counseling emphasizing the nature, purposes, and responsibilities of marriage. Only when there has been a complete and total breach of the marital covenant commitment may the non-breaching party seek a declaration that the marriage is no longer legally recognized. A man and a woman may contract a covenant marriage by declaring their intent to do so on their application for marriage license and executing a declaration of intent to contract a covenant marriage. Application for marriage license and the declaration of intent must be filed with the county clerk, which is normal. the following statements made by both parties. We do solemnly declare that a marriage is a covenant between a man and a woman who agree to live together as husband and wife for so long as we both may live. We have chosen each other carefully and disclosed to one another everything that could adversely affect the decision to enter into this marriage. We have received premarital counseling on the nature, purposes, and responsibilities of marriage. We have read the Tennessee Covenant Marriage Act, and we understand that a covenant marriage is for life. If we experience marital difficulties, we commit ourselves to take all reasonable efforts to preserve our marriage, including attending marriage counseling. With full knowledge of this commitment means we do hereby declare that our marriage will be bound by the laws of this state on covenant marriage, and we promise to love, honor, and care for one another as husband and wife for the rest of our lives. Part 2. An affidavit by both parties that they've received premarital counseling by an ordained minister, religious priest, or clergyman of a bona fide religion or licensed counselor under Title 63, Chapter 22. Such counseling must include a discussion of the seriousness of covenant marriage, communication of the fact that a covenant marriage is a commitment for life, a discussion of the obligation to seek marital counseling in times of marital difficulties, and discussion of exclusive grounds for legally terminating covenant marriage by divorce or divorce after legal separation. So that's pretty based, right?
Yeah.
It's based, but it's also sad. It has to be said. I mean, in the vows, it's till death do us part, and I don't know why that got lost.
You know.
Yeah, well, people write that out. There are literally people that they don't even say that anymore.
You know, my daddy did our service. He was a pastor at one time, kept up his ordination to marry off his kids.
There you go.
But we celebrated our 36th anniversary last December.
Yeah, I'm 20 years deep right now. Lord of
13.
Pies, it's not a state counselor. You have to meet with a minister. They do have that you can go to like it does say, where was it? I just read it. It's a very specific type of counselor that you can use if you're not religious. It has to be a licensed counselor.
Can it be covenant if you're not religious?
It doesn't look like it. I mean, I guess technically it can be, but it doesn't look like it really can be because you're going to have to go to a priest.
Yeah.
So.
No, that's good. I think it's a good law. I think other states should implement such a thing. I mean, a lot of the ways you can get out of divorce now are pretty sad. I mean, those should definitely be limited.
Yeah, I just I think it's based. I think it's right. Silver Ogres, how's the housing and job market in Tennessee? Yeah. No, actually, a covenant marriage is technically covenant marriage would be outside of the law, so to speak, because it would be between man, woman, and God with the church officiating. But what Tennessee is doing is bridging that gap so that people who, for whatever reason, are not particularly religious or are only religious on their wedding day have to have a couple of extra steps in there before they just go down and tie the knot. So, yeah. And that's only because the state, unfortunately, the state has been in the business of marriage for quite a while, and we can't seem to get them out of it as much as we would like to. So,
yeah, government's got no business in the marriage.
Yeah, but unfortunately, because people want to get divorced, that's what happens.
Such a lucrative business.
It is. It is.
Talking about divorce, did you know, you probably already knew this, but 70% of divorces are in a man, husband and wife, is initiated by the wife.
Well, actually, I think the number is closer to 80%.
80 if she's college educated. It's closer to 70 if she's not.
Yeah,
but it's still it's such a small.
Yeah, college educated. You're looking at about 80%, and generally they can't even define a reason why.
No, it's irreconcilable differences.
Yeah, they're just bored. They just want to move on. So
they're just ready to go back into the streets. No, I also the one statistic though that is not right is the 50% divorce rate, because that's not based on, it's based off of like the entirety of marriages versus this year's worth of divorces. So it's a skewed statistic.
Well,
Right.
there's a it's hard to get the number of actual divorces a year and all of that, but one of the statistics that I find really um, really bad is, it's just bad statistics, is the that something like 50 something, I think it's 58% of marriages or of divorces are um, from are Christian couples or whatever, or people that identify as Christian. But the problem is that that's self-identifying and what they write on their marriage certificate, which is, that's just something that it's just a box they check. They're not actually church-going people. So, and I think somebody has gone out of their way to do a survey in the various churches, and I think if you are active in your church, the rate of divorce drops to like 10% or something. It's really low. So, not that any divorce is good. I'm just saying, it's
Right.
it's
Yeah,
a
I've
lower
heard some pretty
percentage of what people want to talk
stories.
about.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep. Well, anyway, so that
But
Tennessee is a base state and continuing to stay based, and we're actually, because Memphis keeps pissing us off. There's now a proposal in front of the in front of our in front of our state Congress to make it so that state lawmakers can challenge city and county lawmakers on some of the decisions that they make that affect the state.
they
And
should be able to overrule that.
that's specifically because Memphis continuously tries to pass anti-gun legislation, which Tennessee has been getting rid of gun legislation. We're an open carry state now. You don't need if you are legally able to carry a firearm in the state of Tennessee, if you're legally able to own a firearm in the state of Tennessee, you don't even have to be a resident, but you can carry concealed or open, no permit needed.
We're constitutional carry here,
Yeah,
conceal as well.
we're constitutional with a couple of. They still issue carry permits if you want to go outside the state. That's really the only reason you need one.
Oh, I gotcha. Yeah, no, as long as you're within the state, yeah, you don't need any kind of permit or anything. Once you're
And
18.
also it's not just for residents; it's for anyone. So Memphis keeps trying to pass gun control laws, and the state keeps having to, threaten to withhold funding and all of that. So, I think after the last 5 years of their nonsense, the state has just the state government is like, you know what, we're going to make it so that you can pass whatever you want, but it's going to have to toe the line of the state government, right? So a county can't. Basically, what they're saying is a city or county cannot pass a law that is in direct opposition to state law. So if the entire state is the gun control laws are X, a county can't say, well, we're not going to do that. So I believe you're right, Seth Spence. I believe 70% of the United States is constitutional carry.
Here.
El Cheapo Dago, Memphis should focus on their gang problem first. Absolutely, man. Absolutely. Memphis is a shithole. I mean, most of us in Tennessee would be happy to sell Memphis to Arkansas or Mississippi, or we'd happily we'd let those guys have that for sure. But nobody, we've had no takers. Yeah, Memphis is a shithole. Memphis has such a great. I mean, it's got a lot of possibility in Memphis, but that once they weren't really a major shipping center. When trucking became more viable than transport up the Mississippi River, a lot of Memphis has just kind of died, right, over the past 20 or 30 years. And it's just gotten worse and worse and worse every single year. And, you know, like,
Come here.
it's just terrible. It's just a terrible place. So Silvar Ogre, the paternity testing here is interesting because you don't, in Tennessee, you do not need the other, you don't need the opposing parent's permission to have the child paternity tested. So we don't really need mandatory. I guess we kind of have mandatory paternity testing in a way, but yeah, you don't need to. If you want a paternity test, you can just say, "Hey, I don't think that kid's mine," and you are free to test your kid, unlike other states. So, but yeah, society here is good. It's the rest of it.
I don't think you should be able to sign a birth certificate without a paternity test.
Yeah, I disagree with that, but I think that I think a mother cannot name a father without the father being present or signing the paternity test. So
You hear about things like seems like I read where like an 80-year-old man killed his wife because they finally, at 80 years old, apparently they did a DNA test.
Yeah, I heard that. Yeah,
the father wasn't the father.
Yeah. So Arcar Oak, I don't know where you are in the country. See, in Tennessee, that the father doesn't have to demand it. He can just say, "Hey, we're going to go get a paternity test," and the mother can't stop him. In California, Colorado, and there's like 2 other states, you can't do that. If I say, "Hey, I want to take the kid down and get a paternity test," the mother can say, "No, you aren't doing that. We both have to agree." And I mean, technically you can do it anyway, but it won't hold up in court. If you want it to hold up in court, you have to have both parents' permission, which is stupid. Like, what? That's dumb.
Agree. But
So, yeah. Of course, the liberal states do that. Yeah, and no, they make it really, really tough. Yeah, they make it really tough. So,
Well, child support, another lucrative business.
yeah, child support needs to be. I'm pro child support, but I think it needs to be reformed for sure. So
There's a lot of things that needs to be. There needs to be a expenditure report on the other parent's side, who's spending the money where, and also the state shouldn't be getting such kickbacks for it. That's why you get a lot of this.
I'm not sure that the state gets a kickback here. What states get kickbacks?
Well, maybe not the state itself, but I know that like a lot of the courts and stuff get a percentage of some of that. As far as I thought, anyway. I guess I haven't looked into it. It's that's more of a hearsay.
I believe that in California. I believe that in Colorado, California, and some other places.
Yeah, Michigan, I think, is one of them. I watch a lot of court cases, but they're mostly out of Michigan.
Yeah, Michigan's almost as bad now.
Oh yeah, Michigan.
Yeah, you guys got to get control of your politicians.
Yeah, I'm North Dakota. I know.
You're in North Dakota. I thought you were in Michigan.
Yeah, I'm North Dakota. We're as red as they get before you hit the southern border.
Yeah. I think my friend's in South Dakota actually, but I'll ask him.
Same.
But yeah, it's Illinois sucks. Yeah.
well,
Yeah, Minnesota and Michigan, they're unfortunately our border state.
Here in T-Bay, where's T-Bay? What state is T-Bay?
Never heard of it.
Yeah, I don't know. He'll help me out. You know that I guess I'm amount of people on child, so
I bet it's Tampa
courts
Bay.
get 50 to 250 on the dollar pulled out of Social Security. Tampa Bay. Gotcha. Yeah, I believe that actually in Tampa Bay, having been there.
Toronto Bay, maybe.
No, it was Tampa Bay. Yeah, it was Tampa Bay. Courts get what now? What ghost? Courts get 50 to 250 on the dollar pulled out of Social Security. I'm not really sure how that works, but help me out with that. So I've never gotten Social Security, and I've never, my mom never got child support, although I think she was supposed to. It just never worked out that way. So,
they didn't used to charge the American people income tax.
Yeah.
It used to be they got all their money from tariffs. But
that's true.
Looks like we might be going back that direction anyhow.
I mean, it's very interesting. It is very interesting. You're in Michigan, Big Jake. I didn't realize that. I, for some reason, didn't know that. Tennessee has admin fees state and counties charge since child support goes directly from person to person. If it goes directly from person to person, I'm not sure. I don't know. Hey, what's up, Mikey Balls? How are you, sir? Good to see you. Good to see you.
I believe Mike Ball would get along with my friend Joanne Glass.
He's in Alabama.
She is too. In fact,
he's from California, though.
Oh, my neighbor across the street lived in California for 30 years or so. But when he retired, he moved back home to Mississippi.
That's a good move.
He's good people. There's no question. But hey, it's been my experience. There's good people everywhere. Whether it's in, granted, I don't think that there's good government, everywhere.
Well, definitely there's not good government. That's for sure.
So, Mike Ball said 29 years. One of my favorite number is 29. So that's awesome.
So, YouTube police, what are you? So you're an officer?
I am a certified police officer that works at a mental institution.
Oh, okay.
I am what you call a supervisor. Most of what I do these days is just hand out details and what have you. Send dispatch people the calls, that type of thing. Most of what we do is really, I hear you, Anson, whatever. There's going to be those that hate, that hate the police, and there's those that
Anson Knowles is already on it. He's got you.
I saw that. Hey, everybody's entitled to their opinion.
He's in Alabama too.
Hey, so he's a neighbor.
Yeah, he's a neighbor.
My favorite barbecue is over in Tuscaloosa, Alabama, at Dreamland. So, if you ever get over to Alabama, Tuscaloosa, make sure you stop by their original Dreamland. It's just off of Jug Factory Road. But we used to go to Talladega twice a year, and every time we stopped by there in Tuscaloosa and pick up some barbecue. These days we go to they got this YouTuber meetup in Jemison, Alabama, called Pedals of the Past, and we go to that too in the fall, and we always stop by Tuscaloosa and pick up some ribs.
Okay, I'll have to keep that in mind. John Deadman says child support is decided by the courts, right? Yeah, it is. And it's actually, and I have not been through it, so I have no personal experience, but my understanding is that the system is constantly being reworked and made more, well, not fair. That's not really the right word. It's being revised. It's being improved. I know for a long time it was really horrible, but I believe it is getting better. I mean, which is, you know, that's like winning the Special Olympics, right? I mean, it's still a bad thing, but it is child support, divorce. It doesn't matter. If you have a prenuptial agreement, it's dependent on the judge and family court system, right? Yeah, but again, it's a lot more fair than it used to be. I think that, you know, for a long time, the courts were very heavily biased against men, and fortunately, that has swung the other direction. And not everywhere in Tennessee, though. I have been told that there are still counties in Tennessee that you don't want to get divorced in. So, but I'm sure that's like it in every state, right?
Well, for most folks, I wouldn't recommend getting married this day and age anyhow, unless, you know, I mean, that's just my opinion, but all you're doing really is, with the divorce rate so high, is you're willing to give up half your stuff, you know, to somebody who could fool around on you and then turn around and leave you because they think they found something better.
Well, I think that mantra is worn out, tired, and old. That's actually not the case anymore. And as a matter of fact, if you ever watched Taylor the Fiend, you ever watched a channel called Taylor the Fiend?
Oh, the Fiend Gang. I love those guys. Taylor's one of my favorites.
Taylor the Fiend is awesome. So what he goes around and does is he goes around and he gets pictures or videos. He searches Twitter and YouTube Reels and all that. And all these women who have been led to believe that if all they have to do is get a divorce and they're going to get half a man's shit, right? And they get nothing. Because that's the way the law actually works. The way divorce actually works is you don't get half of everything. Even in California, which is weird, but unless you stipulate that in prenuptial agreement, you're not guaranteed to get anything. As a matter of fact, alimony is becoming increasingly rare, and more states like Florida are passing laws that even limit alimony to a few years, so that you can't just sponge off a man until you get married again, right? So it's very interesting. The difference between the that's funny. I'm gonna have to keep that in mind. I'm sorry, I got distracted. But Taylor, I mean, these women are crying. I mean, they're straight up bawling because they thought they were going to get the house, and they didn't understand that when you get a divorce, community assets are divided, right? You bought the house as a couple with your wife or your husband or whatever, and now you're getting a divorce. Well, you don't get the house and he gets the cars. No, the judge says either one of you buy the other out and come to an equitable arrangement. And you go, no, I don't want to do that. I want the house. The judge says, okay, well, if you can't come to a deal, we sell the house and you get half and he gets half, and that's it. We're done. And women are absolutely losing their fucking shit because they don't understand the reality of the situation. Because they're what you just talked about, how they just get married for a few years, cheat, and then they get half a man's shit. Doesn't work anymore. Anson Knowles, by the way, I think he's on his second divorce. I think this last one hurt him a little bit, but it has changed, and I think that it's changed for the better. And what's really good is I think the law is coming into effect. I
thank you for having me up on your panel.
Yeah,
I'm gonna have to jet. I've got to get ready to go to work.
Sure, man. You're welcome anytime. I do a daytime show twice a week and nighttime shows generally three nights a week, but not this week. So,
well, I connected on all. I got 5 channels, so I went ahead and connected on all 5 of them. Gave you a thumbs up on them.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Appreciate it. You have a great rest of your day, sir.
Thank you. You as well. Good to meet you. You have a wonderful day, wonderful week.
Yeah. Enjoy the show.
All right.
But I love Taylor the Fiend. I really love it when a woman is, it just sounds really sadistic, but
When she's crying on the internet about
when
her
she's
loss
sitting there crying and
in her
screaming,
car. In her
why? And they're always in their car. They're literally
In
every
their
fucking
car.
time. Like
Every time.
is that a law? Is that a law that men aren't aware of? Can you help me out here? You're a
Yeah.
woman. Is that a law
So
that you have to film in yourself in your car with your hair all fucked up and just crying and saying, "Today is the last day that I can be in my house. My house is sold tomorrow." Is that
To be
like a
fair,
requirement? Is that a law?
women do like sitting in the car talking to each other. So like this is something I used to do with my friends. We get done with work and we'd be in the car for like half an hour just talking before we actually went inside. I don't know what it is about that. So I don't know if that has a play on it. I also think it has a play on the privacy of it. You know, if they're living with their ex still, they don't want them on there or such a thing. But yeah, no, it's not a law. I don't really know what happens there, but it's too funny to watch these women with messed up hair sitting in their car, bawling the $300 makeup that they put
Bawling,
on for 2 hours.
just crying because they didn't get to fuck the dude over like they thought they were going to.
I've had a sadistic interest in watching women cry, the welfare queens losing their welfare
Oh
benefits.
yeah.
That's been a big one too now because a lot of those programs are getting cut, they're getting reworked, and there are stipulations for how you can get
Well,
on welfare are changing. So they have to pay it back too.
have you seen that? So right now, the way it works right now is even if the woman doesn't have custody of the child or she's not working, she gets the tax credit, just like the man.
Oh,
does.
yep, I've seen the new one where now they don't
Trump
get
is Trump is going to make it. Trump is pushing to have it changed so that the tax credit only goes to the main provider, right? So if you have 50-50, you're still covered. But if you're one of those women that is in her second childhood, you know, getting her girl boss on, being a babe, and you just don't have time for kids, so the dude is taking care of the kids 90% of the time, you don't get the tax credit.
or paying child support in an abundant amount. And these women, they literally survived off of their child tax credits. I mean, that's half the reason some of these women had 6 kids because of the tax season come. They got to claim them all. They're all, I cannot wait for Taylor the Fiend to cover some of these ladies when tax time approaches because you know they're going to all be pushing it off instead of doing it right at the beginning of the year like they used to.
Yeah, I think it's fucking great. I really
They're going to have to pay in.
But it's great to me that we hear people still come up and they talk about, you know, I correct people all the time in my private life, like out just talking to people, you know, they'll be talking, you know, it's probably a month ago, I was out with some acquaintances, not friends. And they were talking, you know, you hear so-and-so's getting divorced. Yeah. You know, he's going to get taken to the cleaners. And I'm like, no, he's not.
Nope.
No, he's not. He's not going to, not unless he just rolls over and just gives it to her. But I love, and I really love that Taylor the Fiend, like I was going to do a whole like series on that, but Taylor the Fiend does such a great job of just spotlighting these women who literally go into these marriages. There was one I was watching where this woman had actually gotten married to some dude who was worth a shit ton of money. Right. And she did not. Right. And so she goes to divorce him and she's expecting to get basically half of his salary. Right. Mm-hmm. And she didn't get anything. No kids, you know? And she was like, well, I gave up my career. And like, so you chose to do that? You didn't have to do that. So, you know, no kids.
No, I think
right?
It's great. I think that more women need to understand that that's not what happens.
Yeah,
you go into a marriage expecting.
It's the lie that women have been told, right? I mean, you
But they
not
believe
not
all the
you.
lies. They love the lies way more than they love the truth. We've always known this, and it's just
Yeah,
so
probably not
clear.
you, but I bet there are friends in your friend group that
What
talk
friends?
amongst
I don't have
themselves.
friends anymore because now they're all
Well, okay, people
crazy.
that you know, you've heard them sit around. You've heard these women sit around and talk about how, girl, you just got to get rid of him and get your paycheck because you need to move on with your life. That man is no good for you. You will find a new man, and that man is going to treat you like you
Oh
should
yeah,
be.
it's very rare for women to stick up for the man in a conversation. There's
Sure.
the devolvement into conversations with women about like, and this is why I don't get along with women, is because I got nothing but nice things to say about my husband, and they
Yeah.
can't stand that I do not fit into that co-misery status with them,
Yeah.
and they ostracize me because of this. But that's like half of what women talk about is their deadbeat boyfriends or husbands,
Well,
and how
even
much
if they're
you.
not deadbeats, they call them deadbeats.
Oh yeah, no, they don't have to be deadbeats to be deadbeats. Like these women are just well, and the thing is they're only saying one part of the story, and that's the thing that always would drive like my girlfriend would be like, "Oh, he was yelling at me yesterday," and I'm like, "Why was he yelling at you?" And she'd be like, "What do
Yeah.
you mean? Why was he yelling at me?" And I'm like, "Well, I don't know. I mean, he's just yelling out of nowhere. Like, what are we doing? Yeah, like that. We can't have that conversation because that's not the point of the conversation. They just
Right.
get
Right. No,
straight into the part where he done wrong."
I mean, it's an interesting dynamic, right? Like you have men who are too stupid or they're working too much to really understand the bullshit that's going on and behind
Yeah.
their backs, right? And then you have women who hang out, married women who hang out with single women for some stupid
That's
ass reason.
asking for
And
problems.
then 5 years, 4 or 5 years in, you know, I mean, look, 4 or 5 years in, it's tough. It's tough to be married, right?
Oh yeah,
Like
marriage isn't
you
easy.
know,
I'm on
you got
13
some,
years.
yeah. You probably remember back when you were 3 or 4 years in, and it's bills are kind of piling up because you've had this happen or that happen. Maybe you've got a kid. Maybe you're trying to buy a house or trying to get out of an apartment, and maybe dude's lost his job once or maybe changed jobs and maybe it didn't go the way he wanted, whatever, and it could be tough. It could be a tough period in your life when it could be a tough time in your married life. And the worst possible thing for a woman to have is a single friend during that time period, because that
Oh yeah.
time period, that woman is going to do nothing but shit talk everything about the dude. It doesn't matter if that dude is out working 12 hours a day to put food on the table. That single friend's going to make him out to be uncaring, unfit, doesn't give a shit
Well,
about you, doesn't care about your
unfortunately, the
life.
single friend has only ever heard the woman bitch. So all she has to go from are
Yeah.
bad stories. That's the thing. Like with women, when they talk
Sometimes,
about their man, I'm going to be
sometimes.
honest, the majority of the stories aren't good stories. When they have something they want to talk with their
True.
friend about with their significant other,
You're not wrong. You're
the
not wrong.
stories are normally like this is what he did wrong and they want to vent. They don't want to sit and brag about their man because they also don't want to make their single friend feel bad that they have a man and their
Yeah, I
friend
think
doesn't.
that's yeah. Well, so that I have a theory about that too. I think that single women are, they're usually like super excited about whatever dude they're seeing now, or they're super angry about whatever dude whatever relationship they were just come out of. And so when you have a married woman there who's talking about, her deal, I think they do. I think they play it up, that it's just terrible, or they downplay it to where it's okay. He's an
They
okay
do.
guy.
They downplay the achievements and they upplay
Yeah.
the
Yeah. I think
misconduct
it goes
because
both ways.
they're trying to commiserate with their girlfriend. And so when
Yeah.
their girlfriend is single and you start talking about how great your date was or whatever, you can see the deflation in the single friend's eyes. And
Yeah.
so you don't want to talk about
100%.
that stuff. So the only thing that they're hearing is the bad side. So then, you've created your worst enemy. You've given them all the ammo to come in downtrodden times and really bring up the past, and it reignites the
Yeah.
woman because she never forgot about that, but the emotions they
Yeah.
like
No,
are
they never do.
re-triggered.
And so it's a I've seen a lot of what I thought were good relationships kind of go the way of the dodo because
Because of
single
friends.
friends, man, single friend groups. Like if like, and what's worse is when one woman gets married and there's 4 friends
Oh,
and the other 3 are single or just dating, right? And it's terrible. And so like my wife has no single friends, and she can't even relate to single people anymore. Like it's just like, it's not even, as a matter of fact, I don't even know that she has told me a couple of times that even married people, if they don't have kids, she can't relate to them
yeah.
because they don't talk about the same things.
We
And
lead
I
different
remember,
lives. I don't have kids, so I understand that.
yeah, we were talking probably 3 or 4 years ago, and you know, I think my wife was pregnant with the little guy now, and so one of her friend group, one of the couples is, they don't have kids, and they probably are never going to have kids. They're very selfish people, so they just, I don't know that they even want kids. So, and they're posting pictures of them going on Alaskan cruises, and they're in fucking Fiji and shit. And my wife's like, we could do that. And I'm like, yeah, but we can't be gone a month. Our kids have stuff to do, right? Like,
Right.
we can't do that. I mean, we can physically do it, but what does that do to to our oldest son? The things that he's got going on.
Right.
But plus the things I have going on. So it was just, it was an interesting.
It's a different lifestyle.
It's
It's
a
interesting.
different life. Yeah,
Friend groups dynamics are fascinating.
yeah. So all of the friends that we have now, married, at least one, usually 2 to 3 kids, all of that. So kind of.
Yeah, we don't have any friends right now, but that's just because the last friend group we had, the girl and I were close friends about the same time I got with my husband. And her boyfriend were kind of the other couple in the grouping that were like kind of long term. They'd been together 4 years. And the other friends were single but dating, but it kind of worked out. And there was no real third wheel situation. But then the girl and I started kind of falling apart because I
Clashing.
realized she was really selfish. Yeah, I started realizing she was selfish, so I really kind of started slowly backing off a little from hanging on with her one on one. And then I came into some information. She had brought me in. This is kind of a wild story. We hadn't talked much one on one, but she kept trying to get me to come over one on one randomly out of nowhere. It'd been about a year since we'd really hung out much instead of outside of a group. But she kept saying that she needed to tell me something and she really wanted to hang out, needed to tell me something. And I thought it was odd, but I kind of just was like, let me figure out get to the bottom of this. It seemed fishy. And she invited me over, and it was her and her boyfriend, and they were talking to me, and they'd mentioned that they were actually going to sign a mortgage the following day on a home. They'd been together 4 or 5 years. And then the wild story she told me was about another friend and how that friend got mad that she wouldn't sleep with them. And so they started making up lies about her.
Yeah.
And
women are evil, man. Do you guys have like a special evil school that you go to be so evil?
We must. I don't think I got invited. I didn't get my letter in the mail for that, or I missed it, thank God. But here's the thing that's psycho about it. So she was saying this, and I found out, and I got proof that they weren't spreading lies about her. They were spreading truth about her, and they were sleeping together, and she screwed that person over. And so they decided to bring up the crap. And
I've got one for
here.
You. I got one
she's here trying to throw them under the bus, and she actually like went through her phone and deleted half the texts. So it looked like the one person was coming on to her, but there was a mutual arrangement, and the lies were actually truth as well. And so the fact that I find this out, I actually couldn't live with myself if they went and signed a mortgage the next day, so I had to tell him immediately. Otherwise, I mean, I would have told him regardless, but I probably would have found a more pleasant way to do it than just dropping a
Just
bombshell in his
like
lap.
ripping Band-Aid off.
Well, it was because within less than 24 hours I had before these two were going to go put their names on a mortgage together, and I had to save the friend. He had no part in this. And so I had to just basically drop a bombshell in his lap with evidence. And
Yeah,
yeah, and it
that's
blew up the
nuts.
whole group because she twisted it around and made him feel bad that she cheated because she gained weight and he stopped being attracted
Mm,
and all this nonsense. So they stayed together and the group like ostracized me.
that's what
Ugh,
happens.
it was
Uh,
wild. So we haven't had friends since.
yeah. Welcome, Serene. Welcome to the show. Anson Knowles would like to know if you have an OF, Sweet INT, that he can subscribe. That he can sub to.
No OF. You know, it's a funny story about OF. I actually started an account not for that purpose, but
Mm-hmm.
I'm an animator and a drawer, and I made like a little old school oscillating fan. And then I thought if you subscribe to the account, you could become a little fan too. And if you were a big supporter, you could be a big fan. And then it would soon be this page just filled with fans.
Nice.
And then you
There is
go on to
actually so
OnlyFans, and it would have been OnlyFans.
Josie actually has a page called OnlyFans, and it's just fans.
Yeah, exactly. It was just like that. So I had made that account, but yeah, I don't know. The
Yeah,
stigma with
Josie's
even
that.
just
You can
making
go
that,
add
I
to it
kind of,
maybe. Yeah, you could go add to it
yeah.
maybe. But I have an interesting story, kind of like you were talking about. So have you ever seen friend groups that do everything together, and they're like, and they're married people, but it's like they just do literally everything together, right?
Yeah.
And so like I had when I had just been married like maybe a year or 2 years, maybe three, something like that. One of my clients, he had his wife, who is at that time blonde girl, pretty good looking. I think a nurse, which is kind of a alarm bell for me, but whatever.
Shocker. Yeah.
And another couple, and I cannot remember his name, but I can't remember the girl's name either. But the girl was dark haired, kind of pretty, and they all went out. They did literally like everything. They went to dinner together all the time. They went out on the boat together. They have all the Facebook pictures with them out water skiing and chicks hanging out. The chicks hang out together in bikinis and then skiing because we're in Colorado, and then all of the things they did everything together. And I was like, that's honestly, I don't know how I feel about that, and so I was never that good a friend with them because it was like they were always together, right? Had their own little, and they had other friends too, but it was this core four, right? As it turns out, my client, who was my friend, his wife cheated with the other woman's husband, like a lot, and ended up leaving. My buddy's name was Jeremy. Ended up leaving Jeremy for the dude. Broke up that marriage. I don't know what happened to the dark hair girl. My buddy went through this weird phase. Like for like 6 months, he was just like, he went through that zombie phase, right? Where he's eating cereal in his pajamas at like fucking,
not showering,
5 p.m. in the afternoon, and missing calls and not doing work and, all kinds of shit, So, he got it. It took about 3 months probably to get his shit together, maybe 6, something like that. I don't know, but he got his shit back together, and he's a construction guy, and he was mostly in the office. But after the breakup, he's like, I just want to be out. He's like, I want to, be out out on site. So, he started doing, not only did he would work in the office, like half the day, and then he would go out on site and work half a day or longer, and he just basically buried himself in his work. Dude, after about like probably a year, he was like ripped, like because he's been doing construction every day and got his shit together.
Guess she tried coming back, huh?
No, and I mean
Oh,
he was in good shape before, but I mean he went from like he went into that like sloth stage where he literally, I went over to his house one night like 6:30, 7 o'clock, and he's sitting there watching TV in his fucking pajamas, eating cereal, like
same PJs from yesterday. None of the
yeah,
lights have been turned on.
he was doing the work from home thing where he wasn't going into the office. He put on like 10 or 15 pounds, which I mean it's easy to do at my age, but we were younger then, so it was weird that he put on the weight. And then it's probably a year and a half later, he's like super ripped, and I saw him like 2 years ago. So it's been like probably 8 years since 8 years. Yeah, probably about 8 years since I talked to him.
Yeah.
He is just absolutely, he's still jacked. Like really, like he works out. I think he works out like a maniac all the time. And he's got a new girlfriend. His new girlfriend is ridiculously hot. I mean, like you wonder she's that hot. And so we're talking one time, and I think I've told this story before, but so those in the chat, if you've heard it, bear with me. So I'm sitting there talking to him like, man, hey, Jeremy, man, looks like you got your life back together. Everything's going pretty good. And he's like, yeah, I mean, it's going all right, And then I guess his girlfriend had gotten laid off from work or whatever. And this was probably about 2 years, a year and a half ago, something like that. And all of a sudden, like, he was kind of bitching about her sitting around and all that. And all of a sudden that changed. I was like, what's going on, man? I'm just curious. You don't have to tell him if you don't want to. He's like, oh man, she's doing OnlyFans.
Oh,
so she's his girlfriend. Like, just takes and I don't know because I haven't gone to the site, but apparently all she does is take her top off. She doesn't even like do the full Monty. And was making pretty decent chunk. Not like she wasn't making the, she wasn't the top
hundreds
10. Of thousands a month or anything, but she's making pretty good change. And but I promise you that he is not serious about that chick.
No, you can't be. How could you be? Especially if she's doing that.
He's not serious about it. Well, I mean, I know.
Seriously in love with her. The second he found that out, she'd have been gone.
I know dudes that have enough cope that they could do that, but I mean, I know dudes that have been married to strippers and they're just like fine with it or whatever. I don't know. I couldn't do it.
I can't imagine you'd love someone enough that you'd be okay with them putting that.
Yeah, I'm in that boat too, but I'm just saying. I mean, I
work with a lot of men, and I know it makes my husband
it works for them. I don't. I judge silently.
Yeah.
but I'm like, there's no way he's serious about this chick and I honestly, you know what it is? I think his first wife fucked him up so much that he just he's just not going to ever commit again, ever.
Yeah.
I don't think he will.
I don't think he will. Block in his mind. I think he makes sense.
I think probably he's going to be that weird uncle, that has all the cool shit, does all the cool things. Like he's going to be skydiving when he's 60 and he'll have a bunch of girlfriends all in their late 20s, early 30s
million
or
cool
younger.
Stories.
Fucking, filled up passports. But the one thing he'll never have in life is a wife again. That's what I think. I could be wrong. I've been wrong before. But when you were telling me about that, I was thinking every time somebody talks about that, I go back to the story of my buddy because Yeah, he's never gonna. I mean, he's just. And I've seen this. I've seen this happen with men go both ways. I have another buddy of mine. He was like super in love with this girl, and I don't know what happened. They just weren't really right for each other, and I think they figured it out in time. And he either he bailed or she bailed. I forget which. I think she's married now. I think I'm not 100%. He is never married. He is literally that weird old guy that never got married, never had kids, plays guitar, long hair, a lot of cool stories, all of that, but he's just never going to get married ever.
Yeah.
So, but
Yeah,
I mean,
it's crazy.
hey, it's the women fuck people up, man.
They do, and they even do it
Women
like just for
dudes
sheer
up.
their own pleasure. You don't even have to do anything wrong for them to want to ruin your life. I have a
Right.
1.5 million stories of things women have done to men that are just insane.
I have watched man after man have their life completely fucking wrecked by women without the women even caring. It's like it's casual. It's like casual Wednesday, except it's casual wreck this dude day.
Yeah, because there's no, to them that's another Thursday, Wednesday. It's casual for them. They don't even care. They don't have any concept of what they're actually doing. That is just how they live their life. They're just homewreckers. I was raised by one of the original homewreckers. She destroyed men's lives for just another Wednesday.
I mean, I think I mean, that's real shit. I mean, I don't understand it, man. Like I think that women get a lot of hate where they don't deserve it, but I think that there is it is a very real fact that women can and often do wreck a dude's complete life without even thinking about it. And I'm going to be honest, I have always thought, this is my own personal opinion, is dudes allow it to happen. And once it happens, they do not, for whatever reason, they do not allow themselves to get over it. And it's maximum amount of copium, but that copium becomes worse than heroin to them. Like it's insane. It's absolutely.
Well, and they don't fight back because, and to be honest, they don't have a lot in them to
I got the TTS
back.
coming in. Stand by one second.
Seriously, Shelby donated $10 super chat. Thank you to Glenn and Grids for supporting my only sailors. All of it goes to tactical soap for the Dixon cider soap.
Yeah, that's awesome. You can't hear the TTS because you're not on YouTube right now. But
oh, okay, I see. I read it.
Yeah, it's very funny. It says it in that sexy English girl voice. So
that's funny. I didn't get to hear that yet, so I'll just imagine.
Yeah. But it's interesting because and I've been telling young men this for years. I tell my son this. I tell women this to some degree, but dudes have to get over just some woman doesn't like you. So the fuck what? Women are stupid. Just move on. Like you can't.
You don't have to have done anything for them to dislike you.
Yeah.
You could just breathe wrong. So don't take it personal.
Women. So the thing that men. So there's like this weirdness. Tell me if you recognize this. There's a weirdness in a lot of men where they, for some reason, think women have it together. That women know what they're talking about. That women are in touch with their feelings and they understand life and all of this bullshit. And so when a woman tells a man that he's fucked up, he believes her. And you can.
It's the level of confidence behind the voice. It's very unfair to men.
Could be. Yeah, it could be. Yeah.
Well, because if you're delusional enough to believe it, you could almost pass a lie detector as a woman.
Yeah.
Because you're delusional enough to believe the things coming out of your mouth, regardless
true.
of you realizing what's coming out of your mouth. And so when you have that kind of exuberant confidence in what you're saying, It's really hard for people to be dissuaded from that truth.
It is a level of delusion, and it is also at the same time, it's that I think that men, what's that phrase in Ferris Bueller's Day Off? That men put women on a pedestal to the point that that they can't see anything. I can't remember what it is, but and he ends it with Cameron's going to marry the first girl that lets him see her naked because he will have, or that he sleeps with because she will have given him the one thing that he values above all else, or some shit like that. Basically saying the first girl that he has sex with is gonna marry him because he's built that up as the ultimate thing that a woman can do for a man. And a lot of men believe the exact same way, to be honest.
Yeah, that's fair. Because I think men are still disillusioned to the fact that that's a prize, and women are just handing it away like hotcakes. And I don't think guys realize how easily people give that away as much as women do. It's something, though, that I don't think men can understand because they don't have the ability to do the same. You can't just go out on the streets and get women like a woman can get men.
That's true. Whatever
That's
proved that.
unfathomable.
Have you ever seen the Whatever thing where they go out and they do that?
No, I don't think I've actually seen that before. I watched Whatever pretty religiously, but I don't think I've seen
Well,
it.
no, this was before. This is when it was the prank channel. They have Brian and this girl. I think her name was Tabitha or Tiffany. Or I don't remember her name. And they would have him walk down the street and ask women, "Hey, do you want to go have sex?" And you know how well that went over, right? And,
easily. I didn't even have to watch it. I already know.
You don't even have to watch that to know how exactly.
But men should just be honest, and then they'll get what they want. No. Right,
and then you have, and then of course this girl walks down the street, and like 97% of men said, "Yeah, I want to have sex." Right? Yeah. Okay. Good. Yeah.
Sure, where are we going? What's up?
Yeah,
I mean, you can look at the lady who did the 1,000 in 12 hours. I mean, how easy that was for her to come up with that list. She had to turn people away.
Yeah, I want to show you this video. This is a Korean cheerleader. She's the #1 Korean cheerleader currently. I want to show you how she acts in public. This is great. You're gonna like this a lot. I'm not going to have the music. So see, she's first of all, notice she's not dressed particularly like a slut. Signing baseballs, a little bow. You like the bow? I like the bow.
Yeah, I like the bow. There's no tomatoes, so we're happy.
More bow. Still signing. More bows. She actually pays attention to the signing too. Like she's just not she's not pulling some of that bullshit. Takes a picture with a fan. More bows. This is so much win. Why can't women act like this in real life? I mean, obviously she's in real life, but more bows.
You mean modestly?
Modest, bowing, all of it. Why does that not happen? What's up with that?
Because women need the power, and the power is being a salute. And whoever sold them that lie was a genius marketing for men. Genius marketing for the top percent men. Let me rephrase that.
Yeah. You think it might have something to do with that she's terribly concerned that her father will think badly of her?
That's fair.
You know,
there's a lot more familial pressure. Yeah, they'll cut you for that. We need to go back to honor killing your children. No, I think that actually, societal pressure, cultural pressure, it's a lot different overseas than it is in the Western nations. And you got a lot of single parent situations, so you don't have a lot of fathers in the picture, and so you don't have that discipline or that factor where you think, oh, I'm being immodest, because your mom's not going to tell you that. Your mom's going to let you live it up.
Seth Spence, good to see you. I'm not familiar with you. I'm not sure whose show you came over with, but good to see you in the chat. Says no, because they are strong and independent women now. Yeah, they're really strong and independent. They're the same ones saying that they can't change the tire, they can't do anything. So, yep.
Heaven forbid you try to help her, and also heaven forbid if you don't try to help her, though.
Right? Have you seen these videos? I mean, obviously they're staged, but there's this one where this guy's like walks up, and it's obviously a guy. Again, this is all staged. It's a guy that's like dressed in jeans and just a plain white T-shirt. Looks like he could just be almost living on the street, and this one's having trouble with her Tesla or whatever, and he's like, "Hey, I know something about these cars. I think I can help you out. I think it's just this." And she's like, "Oh my God, are you hitting on me? Are you trying to like pick me up right now? Am I safe? Should I call the police?" And he's like, I'm trying to help you. He's like, "Well, I'll just give you $20 to go away." And he's like, "I don't want money. I'm trying to help you." And blah, blah, blah. And it's a really interesting dynamic. It obviously is staged,
satire. But you also have the flip side where
there's truth in that.
Huge truth. And the flip side is, if she were struggling and he walked by, she'd make a video about the fact that he couldn't come help her. Where are all the good men these days?
Where are all the good men gone? Why good? What they won't?
You shooed them away and Me Too'd them into the corner.
Because they only want the dude in the leather jacket that looks like his jeans cost $500.
Whatever this got sold, whoever sold this lie to women, that they are strong, independent, and their body, their choice, was like the top 10%, got all their money together and marketed the crap out of this, because now they're raking in all the women, and all the other men are just left to the wayside, dusted.
Yeah, no, it's a real thing. It's a real thing. Princesses, I'm assuming princesses, were bound to a tower so they couldn't be whoring around. Change my mind.
I don't think we're going to change your mind. There's some truth in that.
I don't know that I'm not saying that, all women should be, locked in a cage until their marriage date. But you don't want me on the deciding vote on the jury on that one.
In Egyptian culture, women are not allowed to leave the home until they're married.
Oh, really? That sounds very Indian.
Oh, it's an Egyptian thing too. I grew up there was an Egyptian girl in my grade, and she was kind of like the caretaker in the home, second to her mom, and then she wasn't allowed to move out of the family home until she was married and moved into her husband's home.
I just think it's really crazy. I've been sent a video to play. We're gonna light it up. I'll turn the volume on.
And just letting you know, it'll probably be a quick dip, but I don't know how much longer I have. My husband will be home soon, and we're gonna go run some errands. So just so
run some errands. Alrighty. Well,
we got to throw some.
I think this is really short. So
yeah, it might be a little bit before he goes, but so you know that when I do a quick goodbye, that's why.
Well, that's fine. All right, let me hit the play button. We got sound on this one. There we go.
Equal treatment for women.
Oh wait, hold on.
Equal treatment for.
Hold on. I don't think I hit the right button here. Let me do it again. Let me do it over. Stand by. I occasionally forget that I have to turn the sound on when I do that. So there we go. Now we got it. Ready?
Equal treatment for women. Equal treatment for women.
Except we're getting charged with a crime.
What?
Well, men generally get harsher prison sentences than women. That's not fair.
Okay. Equal treatment for women, except we're getting charged with a crime.
And when playing sports and fighting.
What?
Well, men and women shouldn't play sports together because men are physically stronger than women. It's not fair.
That makes sense.
It's not fair. Yeah.
No, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay, fine. Equal treatment for women, except we're getting charged with a crime and playing sports and fighting.
And paying for dinners and buying drinks and getting drafted into the military and doing dirty jobs. Come on. Okay, guys, I got a better idea. Let me just one second.
Treat us like women. Treat us like women. Treat us like women.
That's awesome. That is
That's
awesome.
great. That's exactly what it is. It's very
That's
fair.
awesome.
That's what, women want, equal rights, but only when it comes to the rights they want.
That's awesome. I can't even tell you how awesome that really is. That treat us like women. That's right. And the thing is why would you not want that as a female?
Because the patriarchy. You know what's fascinating about the patriarchy is that it's a built-in system to protect women.
Yeah, I know. I'm quite the proponent of the patriarchy.
What? You, Grid? I never.
Yeah, shocking. I know, it's shocking. But I prefer the true patriarchy, not the nonsense version. I try really hard to make sure that we're not endorsing feminism. At the same time, we're claiming to be endorsing patriarchy. So, you know what I'm saying? Because like a lot of the red pill rhetoric can't exist without feminism, and so that they really can't claim to be patriarchal.
No, that's fair. They need that enemy.
Yeah. Well, no, so without women empowered and believing that they are the equals of men and can slut around and sleep around without consequence and all of those things, none of the red pill mantra really applies, because you can't. The idea behind patriarchy is that you don't sleep with every woman that you can. You sleep with the right woman.
Right. I get what you mean. Yeah. No, fair enough.
The idea behind patriarchy is you are the head of something. What you are is the head of a household, a head of a family. Red pill doesn't even like the idea of getting married.
True. They want to just.
So the two things are diametrically opposed. So
yeah, it's true.
Unfortunately,
and that's what we need to get back to.
Yeah, we need, and the red pill guys just need a little recalibration and they'll be right there. It's like the dilithium crystal in the Starship Enterprise. Just got to get Scotty down there to give it a little recalibration. We'll be fine. So Scott spent.
I think though that the newest generation. Oh, go ahead.
His whole thought process is if women are going to vote, they should be married and have children. This will increase birth rate. Yeah, maybe. So I actually had used this as a debate topic one night on Verbal Combat and soundly beat my opponent. Let me pitch this to you, sweet auntie. I believe that only one vote per household should be the metric.
I'm not opposed to that. My only concern is that not single households could then vote as well. So there's my only stipulation would be single households. Would they be half a vote?
No, but well, I mean, if you're living on your own, truly living on your own, then yes, you get one vote.
And not on assistance. Truly living and working on your own.
Yeah. No, yeah. You have to be gainfully employed.
I'd be all right with that.
The way that we determine this is through tax returns.
Agreed. Okay. I'm fair with that then.
If you file jointly, one vote.
What if you file married but separately? That's how we file, but that's just because it's better tax breaks for both.
Still married.
I know.
It says married right there in the line. So it's one.
We're one vote basically anyway. Whatever my husband's voting for, I vote. Right. So it's 2 votes for my husband.
Yeah. And so that allows single men, truly single men to vote and truly single women to vote, but they have to be truly single. They can't be coattailing, which is what a lot of people do. And what that really ends up doing is that it narrows, it encourages people to not dally about and not get married, because I actually had something in there to prevent, people from trying to be like, I just don't want to get married, I'm just going to have kids. Because again, if you have kids together, you're filing jointly, or you're filing as dependents, your tax return determines everything. So it doesn't matter if you're trying to be that quasi single life. Your tax return says everything. And I think I had something in there about tax breaks too. But yeah, it's an interesting thing. So, does a pension and Social Security count? Disability count? Probably.
There actually are quite a few countries that are imposing tax benefits to those that have kids, and I think that's important for society. That we should definitely look into something like that for families to
We
start
do.
having
We have
more
a
kids.
lot. We have a lot of benefits for families that have kids. The problem is that for a long time we've allowed those same benefits to be commuted to families with, or pardon me, to single people who have kids. There's no impetus to get married. As a matter of fact, if you file by yourself with a bunch of kids, then you actually do better. You're better off if you don't.
Well, if you can write "There's no man in the house," you get 10x the benefits, and that's sad because it incentivizes women to not have a man in the home.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and that's the whole point, right? The whole point is we want you to get married. We want you to build a family. We want strong families. We want the backbone of America to grow again. We don't want fractured families. We don't want blended families. We don't want all of that. We
want the
really
nuclear
don't need
family
all of
back.
that. Nuclear. That's right. That's the way to look at it. And I think that once we get into, once you start really looking into it, it really kind of has to go that way. So, guys, I have just been informed that I will be debating on the Raging Tomato tonight. It's going to be me and Flow State versus Ghosty and Niana. The subject was the pardoning of Ross Ulbright justified? Of course, I think it was. We're going to have a great debate tonight. I may have to debate part of it from my phone in the car. If I do, that's great. That's just, we'll just have to, might
Just
have
don't
to
be
listen to my
crying,
wife yell
okay?
at me. My
Just
wife
don't be
might yell
crying
at
in
me.
the car.
I don't cry in the car. But my wife may have to yell at me, and if that's okay. I allow her a voice in the car. But she doesn't drive much by herself, so that's how that works. Seth Spence says, Grid, I don't believe single women should vote simply because they have all the incentive to tear down traditions. I'll have to dwell on it. I don't think that that's true, but numbers don't lie. And I feel like that women...
What if we go back to men can only vote, but married men get 2 votes?
There's an answer in here somewhere. I'm not seeing it yet, but we'll get there. Literally be mean to a woman and you can beat Flo in any debate. I'm not, Flo and I are on the same team. And the entire argument from the left is probably going to reduce down to, but what about the S trafficking though? What about the whatever bad things that supposedly happened? So let's allow Seth his delusions. No, it's okay. It's okay. It's all right, ladies and gentlemen. It is okay. It's fine. How about you can only vote if you're paying taxes? That's actually my entire deal. You can only vote if you are paying taxes as a sole provider, or you know, if you're filing jointly,
Head of household.
married but separately. Yeah, there has to be if you're filing as head of household, you get a vote. If you are not as head of household, if you are single, no kids, you may not get a vote, male or female, because you're not a head of a household.
Yeah, I'm in agreement with that. I'd be okay with that. I just think if we do one vote for married couples and one for single, we're running into a situation where the non-households are having a greater voice.
Arakar Oak, I don't know when I'll have an open panel again. You could have come up today. I would have let you up. You still can. We've only got about 40 minutes left, but you could still come up. Yeah, tax representation. You prefer service grant citizenship? I agree with that 100%. I agree with all the things that everyone's saying. I think I pretty much agree. I mean, look, the reality is that the writers of the Constitution had the right idea. You need to be able to speak our language. We have a common language. You need to be able to, it used to be you had to own property. If you didn't own property, tough shit.
You've disqualified most of America now, especially the youth. I don't know if they're ever going to own property. I noticed my generation had a choice to make, and that was to either own property or have a family. Couldn't really do both.
Yeah. Yeah, must provide proof of citizenship. Well, I mean, I think that just goes without saying, right?
Yeah, that's automatic.
The reason they didn't include women is because women didn't want the right to vote.
No, because they knew what that came with. That's possibility of drafting, and the fact that that didn't happen is just rhetoric to the fact that things aren't necessarily equal.
Right. Well, I mean,
I want women drafted.
You got to really understand the history of voting in this country. Originally, only people who had skin in the game got to vote, and there was
only people with merit were voted president.
Yeah, there was a reason that there's a thing called a poll tax. You literally had to go in and pay to vote, right? So you didn't get to vote if you didn't have money to vote. This is the way of it. So then you fast forward a few years, and then if you owned land, you didn't have to necessarily, if you owned land or you were established in the community, which means you owned a bar, saloon, whatever it was, you were either established in that community, you owned land, or you paid a poll tax. Then you got to vote. Fast forward a few more years. Well, now, we're a little more civilized. We got some infrastructure going on. We got things happening. The world's happening. Poll taxes went away because they were. This was post Civil War, by the way. Poll taxes went away because they were deemed harmful to the freed slaves. They didn't have the money to vote, right? So they didn't have the money to vote, and so this is where they start passing resolutions, and that is, they got rid of the poll tax and said, okay, you can vote, but if we're going to let everyone vote, you are now susceptible to conscription, right? That was the trade that was made by the founding fathers. If you wanted to vote, you didn't own land, you didn't want to pay a poll tax, and everybody voted that these things were that was the case, then for everyone to be able to vote, it had to be possible that you would have to go to war and fight in the war. Women did not want that, and so they decided from the word go, no, we're not, we're out. It's like the Shark Tank, right? They were out. They said no. Fast forward another 30 years, all of a sudden, there's a bunch of people who want women to vote again. Now we got suffrage, and you got a bunch of people running around trying to get women the right to vote, and it did happen, and the rest is history. So,
suffrage.
Oh, you're in my Discord. In general, yeah, I'll throw you the link, man. Let me copy it again. Yeah. So what do you think about all of that? Their
Sweet tea. I don't know. The word suffrage just gets me cackling because of the fact that these women weren't suffering.
mhm.
Such a loaded terminology. The fact
Yes.
that we've really just kind of let society deteriorate into the point where you don't have to have skin in the game. We don't
Mhm.
vote based off of merit. I mean, I'm just really appalled with all of it, and I'm hoping that we're gonna hit because you know what do they say? Strong time or strong
Mhm.
men create strong or
Yep.
hard times create strong men create good times create weak men, and weak men create hard times. And so the
Correct.
cycle will continue.
Yep. That's how that works every single time.
Yeah,
Welcome,
it's cyclical.
Arakar Oak, our resident illegal alien.
Oh, hello.
He may not be illegal. He might be illegal. I don't know. Emmett, you there? Hello, Arakar? He may be having issues. If you got to go over to where it says mute, and you click the little tab next to it and select your microphone.
Yeah, sounds like you might be muted up.
I think he just hasn't selected the right microphone. Technical difficulties. Please stand by. Yeah. Yeah. Anyway, so yeah. What did you? Were you here for the first part of the show where I was talking about the?
No, unfortunately not.
Oh, that you missed out. It's so good. I can't repeat it, but it's so good. You'll have to watch it on the VOD.
Yeah, I will.
How are we going to repel an invading force if need be, or you get attacked in this secular logic that makes no sense? Get it out of here. I'm not really sure what you're saying. What are you talking about? Seth, you're going to have to be more clear. I don't understand what you're saying. Maybe I missed a post. The problem is that people say things in the chat and I can't. Oh, gotcha. I gotcha. He said, hold on. He says, serendipity is in South Africa, by the way. So, how are you going to repel it? Okay, gotcha. Yeah. Yeah, I don't want women to be drafted per se.
As long as they went into support roles, I'd be okay with it, to be honest. But it would have to be a limited scope situation.
Sorry, I've got like 18,000 different things now. Yeah, just come back in, Arakar Oak, and we'll make it happen. Angel Berber sends in $5. The most realistic and probable way to navigate this is to amend the 19th with a new amendment, adding clauses of duties to be able to vote for women. I don't disagree with that. I think that that's probably perfectly rational, which is why it'll never happen. Right.
Yeah.
I think that way it makes way too much damn sense, Angel Berber. As usual, Angel Berber coming in, knocking it out of the park.
Too much sense for reality to sake to handle.
That's correct. That's correct. So what do you think about Doge, sweet auntie? That's what my rant was originally.
Well, I'm glad we're going from 3-letter agencies to 4 letters because we can get rid of all the 3 letters at this point. For all I care about. But yeah, I think that government oversight is something we've needed for a long time. And the fact that the people are even in any kind of way contemplating this as a bad thing is just proof to society's brainwashed and desensitized nature to what's actually going on.
Oh yeah. Yeah. No, I don't disagree with that at all. I think that it's an interesting, to me, it's always interesting the way what people think. Arakar Oak, the same link will bring you right back in. Just click the link I sent you over on Discord and you'll be right back in. So yep. That's how that works.
Yeah, it's crazy to me that people would even have any kind of issue with trying to have some oversight, and to think that the president himself doesn't have the power to make these changes is baffling to
I
me.
covered that. It's so strange that the very person who literally determines who gets a security clearance or not, um, is the one
Is the
when they're
president.
saying that you can't give these people security clearances. It's very strange. It's very strange.
Very much so. I'm kind of just baffled by the thought process behind. But people don't really understand who has what power. I mean, that's part of
That's
the
true.
game, right?
It's true.
That's part of the whole shtick is
Yeah.
they don't want these people to know these things.
Yeah. Absolutely. Our car. Are you? I hear you.
Hello. Yeah, I'm here.
All right. Yeah. All right. Cool, man. Cool.
How are
How's
you?
your day going, my um, Mexican friend?
It's going great.
Yeah.
It's,
Oh, is it our cartel? I'm just kidding.
yeah,
He
yeah.
he's ex cartel. That was last week. He's seen the light.
Now I see the error of my ways, and I don't do that anymore. I just traffic
Good, good.
people.
Just
Oh,
traffic
okay.
people. That's awesome.
Well, as long as it's just the 304s, you can traffic them away.
It's
We're okay with
awesome. It's so awesome because it's
They-
true.
They also need jobs, so
They
we're
need
doing what we
jobs.
do.
can.
They need
Clean up
jobs.
society. Take our worst and put them to their best. That should be your motto.
There's so many people that need more work. And the only work that these women are capable of doing is flat on their back. Just saying.
Yeah, that's just so sad to me.
It's just
Well,
sad.
then that's the other part of this whole, like when he said that video you play that we were laughing about, one of the things was we want equal rights except for when it comes to the dirty jobs.
Yeah, that's where they broke down. Like they were okay with everything up until then. They're like, nope, not
No,
doing
we're
that.
good. I don't see women
Not doing
picketing
that
to
one.
be linesmen. Like, what's
Yeah.
going on, ladies? You know how many linesmen are men? We really need to get in on that.
Well, we have to. I have to tell you that OnlyFans is hard job too. Okay, they have to get dirty like once every now and then, and it's
Only
just
when they
hard.
cash their dirty money. Yeah, sorry, Arakar. We're just about out of time, but I wanted to get you up there.
Yeah. I thought you were. That's why I asked for an open panel because I don't know if I could go.
So
on or
the way
not.
that I do panels, just so you know, in the future, I actually don't act. So I do guest panels where if there are people that, especially people that come into the chat and they're interesting, or I've had interactions with them before, I've seen them somewhere, or they ask, "Hey, can I come up?" As long as I get the idea that you're not going to do something stupid like throw up corn or a bunch of other weirdness. I'm for the most part, I'm okay to have people up. What I don't do is I don't do open panels with the link just randomly posted because and I have to I have to spend a lot of time trying to figure out who people are, and I don't like that. So the way that I do it is generically, I have the mod. So that if you want to come up on panel, you ask the mods. The mods will generally ask me through the back channel and say, "Hey, so and so wants to come up. Is that cool?" And I'll be like, "Yeah, that's cool." Or I'm like, "Nah, I don't want that guy on the night. We're really not talking about anything he's going to have good input on." And it's going to be So and I generally limit the panel to 4, at most 6. I never have more than that on because the conversation gets really bad. It's hard enough with 3 of us up here, 4 of us up here. You get 6, 8, 9 people up on a panel and you can't even talk. So
yeah, it's bad.
it's really
Can get
bad.
that.
Yeah.
I came on for women privileges. If I
Yeah,
could have a
women
lady voice
privileges.
help.
That's right. Sweet Auntie came on just because I don't think she's ever actually been up on my show. So I had to. She doesn't normally come to my show, so had to get her on. Alicia, good to see you. I'm not really sure if I haven't seen you here before, and I don't know which show or you came from or how you found me, but welcome. you've come in at a good and bad time. We're
wrapping up.
literally 30 minutes from shutting it down, but that's okay. We're going to go about another 15 or 20 minutes, and then we'll do final thoughts and get out of here. Yeah, so I'm not really sure. I'm not familiar with Alicia, but welcome. Oh, she's elite. Is that the elite? No, that's the wrong Alicia. 13. I think. I don't know. We'll let her answer. But at any rate, so I think Doge is doing exactly what we want to do. We've had liberals melting down left and right. It's awesome.
Yeah, the sound sound of their tears dropping down has been amazing.
Yeah, it's been great. So I'm going to do Debate Con this weekend. Andrew's going to be there. I think I'm getting VIP tickets I have VIP tickets for Sunday. I'm not sure about VIP tickets for Saturday yet. Supposedly I'm getting a VIP ticket for Saturday as well, but we'll see. And,
are you debating on DebateCon?
No, I'm just there to network, man. Networking. So it would have been cool if they'd done it in Austin, Fredo, to be honest with you. I mean, it's good for me because I have an apartment in Jersey City. So we're just going to go to the apartment and hang out. Like, I don't have to get a hotel room or anything. So it's really good. But it works out well for me. And nobody else, but just for me. Sorry?
I said that's handy.
It is handy. And we needed to go there anyway. We haven't been there in a long time. And so we need to go to the apartment. My wife is, after some urging, has decided that we're going to get a tenant in there. So generically, the only person that uses the apartment in New York is my wife, because she uses it when she has a meeting in New York or something. It was really expensive to rent, so we just bought. And now she's not doing that as much, and I don't know how much more we're going to be doing that in the future. So I'm like, well, let's go ahead and get a grad student in there or something, and just have a roommate, that's paying a good chunk of the mortgage, or maybe all of the mortgage, and that'll help me out. That'll help me sleep at night rather than spending a bunch of money for a place that we don't go to. So. Weird problem.
Fair, smart.
It's a weird problem to have, but yeah. So
it's a good problem to have.
It is a good problem to have. It's interesting. Everybody thinks that once you get to a certain point, you get this. Once you get to a certain point, life's on easy mode. And I'm sure for some people that's true. I actually think that having life on easy mode is simply a matter of perspective, where you don't have any further ambition, and you're just happy with the way things are, and you can just maintain that forever. Whether that's, a guy making, my brother's on easy mode right now. He makes $20-something an hour as a welder. He's got the car he wants. He's got the truck he wants. He's got a Harley. He's got a house. His wife does whatever she wants to do. It's all he needs. Like, he doesn't need any more. And, he's perfectly happy doing that. Me, I mean, it's a little different. So, Anson Knowles, is there something you need to tell Arthur Daya? Anson Knowles, you VIPing it up in here. So I'm not really sure. Seth and somebody is having a great conversation. I wish I could figure it out. Am I missing some chats or something? Yeah. Anyway, so what do you think of Doge there, Arakar? You heard my opening rant, right? You were here for that.
Yeah, I did. Well, I got at the end of it, but I pretty much know what you mean. I knew that the U.S. government was spending a ton of money, mostly because there's a ton of programs that were subsidized by them in Latin America. When when Millet got into power, he got some of it was uncovered. Like they were subsidizing women rights, or I don't know, stuff.
Yeah.
So more of it's gonna come out. As I said, the easiest way for government to spend money and steal money is to make any kind of bureaucracy.
Yeah,
'Cause
absolutely. Again,
that
it's
is
money laundering, right? Clean hands, dirty money.
well, yeah, but you can actually like simply give position of power to your friends, do very little, get a big check, and it's completely like it's even legal. Like nobody's
Well, the one that's
questioning how
really
much it
annoying
is.
to me, right? So you know who Chelsea Clinton is?
Yeah, I know.
She gets
The wonderful
3 million a year
the
from USAID.
she got 3 million a year. Wow.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
So technically, it goes to her foundation. It goes to the Chelsea Clinton Foundation. Only like 22 grand of that money is actually used by the foundation. The rest, she just uses.
but she's like a genius, isn't she? Like she made that documentary, and
Yeah.
she needs all that money to survive. You know.
Yeah, yeah, because her wealthy husband doesn't do it for her, and I mean she's very interesting. Now there is something going around saying that she got 84 million from USAID. People are saying that that didn't actually happen. Newsweek is, for example, saying that is false. She did not get paid 84 million. However, it does look like that she has been, for sure, paid 3 million a year for a long time, and
Yeah, I hope they do this with every single agency and they get rid of all of the waste. It's probably not gonna happen, but it's
yeah, no, it's not going to happen.
they were what they were saying is Trump should go like with every single item and make Congress vote on every single item openly. That I think that would be I think that would be great if they do that.
Well, I don't normally get into this because it's kind of an interesting dilemma, right? So on the one hand, people need to earn their own keep. Life has to be livable, right? But on the other side of that coin, how do I put this? We can't be giving away money to just everybody. I mean, our tax dollars are literally they're people's earnings. Like the government doesn't deserve that money, right? That's your money. It's Sweet Tea's money or her husband's money. It needs to be managed better. It needs to be very transparent. It needs to be very much it needs to be very simple and direct. And I personally think that Congress needs to have, no bill can be longer than 3 pages, including the cover sheet, right? If you can't write what you want into law on a single page document, forget it.
I hope that one passes. That would be really good.
Yeah.
Yeah, no more huge bills that require 800 lawyers to read through that you can slip all sorts of verbiage into.
Yeah, so I mean it's a very interesting dynamic because right now what happens, we get these pork bills where they have like 100 things into them, right? And all of them interconnect, and you can't even see the real purpose until it 10 years from now when you do an audit. So it needs to just be absolutely clear cut. I'm going to address a couple of things. similar to my brother, but have a family. So that was mission accomplished. Grandkids are now in play. Take care of my dad. Yeah. I mean, that's, there are people like me that, just, I go nuts and just do stuff. But, my brother's not. So our ogre says, I fully understand a voluntary professional force is quite efficient when not mismanaged by politicians. So here's the thing. I agree. All of modern warfare is getting away from the idea of massive troop engagements and battles. It's all about now. It's all about small unit tactics and surgical strikes, and not doing more damage to the populace and all of that. So,
Yeah, kinetic warfare is a thing of the past at this point.
yeah,
It's
it really
cyber
is.
warfare mainly. I mean, drones hitting infrastructure points.
I have
Yeah.
to disagree with this. It's very common that we see that now, and like delineation is very has been set. But the moment that we have actual conflict and there has to be population movement and stuff like that, we will
Hmm.
need the hands on deck. So
Yeah.
if you ever go and actually try to get like Gaza, you will need a ton of people to secure the perimeters and everything. Not saying that that's going to happen, just trying to explain.
Well, so I think that I think this idea of drone warfare and remote control warfare. I think that a lot of people get wrapped around the axle about it, but unfortunately, I just don't think that it's all it's cracked up to be. And at the end of the day, it's still going to be bad men going into bad places to do good things, and you were just not going to get away from that. Mr. Mister says, I read every year's debt ceiling bills. Last year's debt ceiling bill was an exchange, 60% tax incentive cuts for the added Ukraine funding, right? Which apparently they only got 22 billion of the 100 billion or 250 billion or whatever it was, depending on which report you read, however much we supposedly sent them. The rest of that money's floating around somewhere. Didn't go to Ukraine. Ukraine saying they didn't get it. Then Ukraine didn't start saying that until we started auditing everybody, right? Like they were absolutely, we're going to, it's, we've got whatever it is. The money is there. The money's in the bank. Now that they're actually starting to audit, now that they're actually starting to track the money, Ukraine's coming out and saying, oh no, we only got 22 billion. We didn't actually get 250 billion, and we didn't get 250 billion in war material either. We only got another like 25 or 50 million or billion in war material. So it's going to be very interesting going forward. How what we think about that. It's pretty interesting all the way around. In my opinion, I could be wrong. I mean, I may be the only one that thinks it's interesting, but I do. I really think that it's. I think it's crazy how much money has just basically disappeared. And yet again, someone has to explain to me how a congressman's salary is $800,000 a year, but he deposits $20 million a year into his bank account. That's really interesting. Really interesting.
It's crazier to me that the people don't care.
It is crazy that people don't. I mean, I care. I want to know where the money went. I pay a lot of money in taxes. I would really love to know where my money is going.
I think
But the majority of people, they don't care.
Yeah. Well, as long as they get their tax refund, they're cool.
Right.
But it's also true that the majority of people is not a net positive on the tax.
That's true.
Yeah, it's true. Well, that's because 3% of people pay 90% of the taxes. So,
yeah,
it's rough. It's rough. Guys, we have 20 minutes left. Let's get some final thoughts going here. Then I'll do the outro and we'll move. I'll move on with my day. I'm going to go.
When is your debate?
It is it's supposed to be at 9:15 Eastern time. I may not make it on. I may be 30 minutes late. The debate will start without me, but I may be late, or I may be calling in with no video and just talking through the car. We'll see how it works out.
But it's today, right?
It is tonight. Yep. K2 Keep on Trucking says, bring back tar and feathering politicians. Absolutely. I like that.
Burning witches and tar and feathering politicians.
Yeah.
That's what we need to bring back.
Well, one of the people I'm debating tonight is a witch, so
Uh-oh. It's hex you.
Not if we burn them.
Sure.
It's true.
Okay. All right. Well, Emmett, give us your outro. Tell us where are you, if you've got a channel or anything. Give us some final thoughts, and then we'll move on to Sweet on Tea.
I don't have a channel yet. Might do one, but not yet. So, just for my outro, I'll promise to only traffic with women and children. No more drugs. That's the way forward.
Based. I'm kidding. That's funny. I'm sorry.
It's fine.
You're getting clipped for that?
Yeah, of course. Well, I just want to say that I'm glad that we are going through, or you're going through this process of Dodge and everything. I hope that it brings light into all of the corruption, and maybe something can be done about it. I think it's something that is needed, and it's going to be a lot better politically in the long and mid-term. That what people believe, because people may say, well, people don't care, but the moment you're telling them 50 million went to condoms in Gaza, they start caring,
Yeah.
So when it comes to women, my only thought is bring shame back. It's great. They love it. We love it. Shame is great. Let's bring it back. And nice to meet you, sweet auntie. And thank you for having me, Grid.
Yeah, absolutely. Good to see you in the chat. Hope to see you again in the future, and we'll look forward to hearing all the cool stuff you have to say. Sweet auntie.
Yeah, nice to meet you too, and thank you for having me up, Grid. I know I've seen you a couple times on Glenn's. I agree. I think you made a really valid point that the more we bring up the ridiculousness of it, the more people will care. Like the 7 million we spent on spinning cats to see if they get motion sickness. So definitely got to keep an eye on these things. Spread the word. For everybody to hear. And the shame is good for women, but make sure it's community shame. All the women need to shame her for her to feel shame.
Right.
Men shaming just push them towards their baloney. But I got to get going. You have a lovely night.
I know you got to get going. I agree that men shaming women is not nearly as effective as women shaming women. And right now, there's no women shaming women whatsoever. We appreciate Sweet Auntie being here. It's always a pleasure, and really enjoy having the female perspective up on the panel from time to time in small doses. Ladies and gentlemen, it's been a great show today. It looks like I started early, and looks like I may end a few minutes early. That's okay. Mr. If you can find me a link and send it to me on Discord, that would be great. If not, I will do a quick search on that. What was he pardoned for? So our Ogre, the stream schedule for the next week, I will be on tonight on Sarah's channel. We'll be debating the pardoning of Ross Albright. And then tomorrow night, I'm going to be on with Scott from Fabian Liberty. We're going to be discussing USAID and the evil entity that it is. We'll be going down the rabbit hole on that one. It's 2 hours of talking about USAID, corruption, Doge, which politicians need to be tarred and feathered. It's going to be great. There will be no, it's unlikely to be a show on Wednesday at all because I will be traveling. It is possible that I can do something. It is possible, maybe, that I can get on somehow. I don't know, but I'll be traveling all day Wednesday. Thursday, I'm unlikely to stream. The problem with streaming in New Jersey is the internet in the building that my apartment's in sucks. And last time I tried to stream from there, it crashed. I'll be taking the equipment. We'll see if I can stream Thursday, Friday, Saturday, or Sunday. I'll update you guys probably on Discord or through a video announcement when that happens. It's been a great day. Started off hot, kind of calmed down, had a great conversation. Sweet Auntie was awesome. The rest of the guests were awesome. For now, I'm going to say goodbye. I'm going to send you guys. Yeah, Scott's channel is really good. For now, I'm going to send you guys over to Chaotic Truth. So have fun. Remember, be cool. Wear glasses if you need them, and get off my lawn.